Terror Spaces. Hello and welcome to The Ether. Today is Tuesday, December 6th, 2022. Today on The Ether, part 1 of a 2-part RAC FM code in testing. I believe this is RAC FM 11 or 12 or whatever. Let's take a listen.
Welcome to RAC FM.
It's the RAC show coming from the RAC store. With this back in the Mac in the back flow. Let's go, chillin'.
You alright, Ghazni, lads?
Take cool so you can stay warm.
You alright, brother?
All I wanna do is make it
Oh, yeah.
alright.
Got a fantasy crew, they're doing alright.
Be RAC real bitch, ready to bite. So many raccoons ready for the boss ride. I might fly high like a kite, right? But always ready for a shot.
Oh, Ghazi's PSP. I just seen Ghazi's PSP there. Oh my god.
It's
a beauty, that, isn't it? With the clean hearts, there's a beam to me, eyes. Look at these boys. From the back left, under the NFTs in my backpack. From the stash app, in this haystack. 100 NFTs in my backpack. From the stash app. Did we get a few more in the room, Ghazni, before we start, yeah? Or the Radville.
Best chill when we get into the first meal. Best feel, best dance with the best skill. No shield, all real.
Secret is a great deal.
Rack will insane.
Shane better stand fast. Robo tweeting his tweets with straight facts.
Polish from the sweet with the best bang.
Yeah, Winston gonna eat if you retweet.
And 3 off a live feed on the bass cam. McKenna always ready.
If you dare that.
Buying on raccoons for his rap stash. Trash from the biker gang.
Motherfucking hashtag.
It's the rap lab from the back lab.
100 NFTs in my backpack.
Crazy rap lab from the stash app. Rap will take a lead in this haystack. It's the rap lab from the back lab.
100 NFTs in my backpack.
Crazy rap lab from the stash app. Rap will take a lead
In this haystack. Dum, dum. Man, Ghazni, I could look at those raccoons, mate, on that video every day of the week. Do you know that? Oh, Tank's here. And Matt. Hello, guys. How you doing, Ghazni? Are you okay, son?
Good morning. Good evening.
Yeah,
I'm great, bro.
I'm just laughing at these better cooks. I saw Jim Yang's post earlier, and I was like, oh my god, is this guy like an ultimate giga pleb better cook or what? Because for like the last 6-7 days, he's just like ranted and raved, and then he's like, today he's like, oh, it's because I just love Cosmos so much. Oh, I mean, Ghazni, what is it with these people? Can they grow up like? Nah?
You know what? At this point, I don't even know what's real life anymore. I don't know what's real life anymore. If we're still in the simulation or not.
Probably, especially now. Apparently Elon's getting death threats now, right? No fucking surprise there, is there?
What's up with that, Robo? Tell us, because you know that podcast that you recommended me. I listened to it.
Yeah.
And they were talking about it a little bit.
He he came out the building and there was fans across like the other side of the road. And basically, like, I think somebody asked him for like an autograph because he often does them, and he was just like, no, and there'll be no more like autographs in the future. He was like quite plainly like, nah, that's all finished now. Sorry. He's, I think your man's gonna have to go into lockdown, if you know what I mean. It's quite easy to put a bullet. Quite easy to put a bullet in someone from a very far distance away. They could easily pop Elon off, man. And at the end of the day, what a lot of people don't realize is, right, that, like, yeah, there's people working for Elon, right? But, like, he's kind of irreplaceable for one, right? If you think about it, yeah. Like, if he goes, everything goes. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's the ideas man. He's the motivator. He's got the big brains, but he's the one that can get the big brains together and get them, like, working together to produce shit, right? Unlike Cosmos, where all the big brains just want to fight with each other, right? He can, like, bring his crew together. But if you took Elon out, that's the whole entire fucking empire gone overnight, if you ask me. Like, so you can imagine.
Can you imagine the price of Dogecoin? I mean, if he just fucking got murdered.
Well, it's not just that. It's how you see Elon, right? You don't see Elon for the day, right? You look at Elon for what he's going to do in 5 years' time or 10 years' time. Dude, we need people like this. We need the, like, Sigma level brains in this world, like, especially the ones that want, like, a degree of, like, peace, unity, harmony, equality, but not that equity shit that they keep talking about, the real equality. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Squid.
Squid. I keep mentioning this before, and people will be sick of me how I view the world as just like good and evil. It's as simple as that to me. And he's firmly in the good camp, mind. But yeah, that's mad. Dude, did you see Canada? Did you see Canada now offering to fucking, like, kill people? Did you see that or not?
What? No. Are you talking about the podcast? Because I wasn't able to watch the whole thing.
But you know, like the euthanasia thing that they started in, like, Belgium, and then I think they moved to Switzerland, it might have been, or Austria. Then, you know, the euthanasia thing. Dude, listen to this, man. In Germany, they're fucking doing these, offering the euthanasias in Germany. But listen to this. How mad is this? You have to go and take a COVID test before they can kill you. No shit, that was all over the news yesterday. Did you not see that, no?
Not sure, man. I don't think I came across that headline, but we got Jacob in here from No Shit.
We got Tank as well, yeah.
Yeah. How's it going?
We're doing well, Jacob. How about yourself? Are you okay?
Oh yeah.
Jacob, I was on the AI today. You know the AI, yeah? I was on the AI today for my work, trying out stuff in English. And dude, wow, the results I saw today from that, like, just unbelievable. Like, I produce, like, really, like, nasty, like, emails, right? Like, unprofessional kind of emails that you would never send, right? Just so I can kind of use these as, like, as examples for people in the future. And I said to the AI, I was like, can you please make this, like, polite, less direct, and more diplomatic, please? And literally, they just, like, in about, like, less than 2 seconds, I would say, they'd literally just converted this, like, nasty email to this, like, beautiful piece of work, but, like, still driving the message home. But just, I mean, the way that I actually write, like, I have to do this and teach it, right? I just wanted to try out the AI, but it's fucking mad, man. You can have mad fun with, like, the analogies. And have you been doing anything else, Jacob? Have you been doing anything else with code with the AI today?
Well, no, not today. Tell you what I did last night, though. I mean, okay. Y'all know Skip? Guys?
Yeah. Maybe. Yeah.
Skip is going to be fucking huge. You want to know why?
Tell us.
Why?
Because, okay, in the mainline Tendermint repository, you, like, go and contribute code, and they'll be like, well, you know, we can't accept your pull request because, like, 1 year ago we wrote this other branch and it's, like, super good, and we need to merge this 1 year old branch in. So, like, we can't merge your simple code formatting update. And so, like, I you know, there was some commentary about Skip, like, It was because that whole like, oh, some Juno validators are taking 100% or whatever, which really, is not a big deal. Anyway, Magnus, I was going to invest in Skip. Full transparency here. I'm so stupid. I didn't even think about liquidating crypto to do it. This was like 3 months ago. Prices were much better. Anyhow, I didn't. That's fine. But I got in touch with the team again. And just so you guys know, I don't think they have like any plan for a token. It was investment in a company. And I had several calls with them surrounding investment and also like their strategy. And I didn't know till yesterday how fucking maverick. Well, I knew that the team was maverick the whole time. Like that's I'm primarily focused on investing in notional, right? And we run it very lean. Although increasingly we are having conversations about like working to even take small bites into funding other people's projects. Oh, full transparency. When I say invest, I mean $10,000. And anyhow, suffice it to say, I've always had a very high opinion of them. Skip came up on yesterday's Juno dev call. We do one every week, and I had a call set up with Magnus from Skip. Anyhow, and he was like, well, no, Skip is actually it's lightly modified Tendermint. Okay, I was really concerned about Skip's security. I'll tell you guys why. Typically when you want to like deliver instructions to a computer, you do that through an RPC or an API. And I thought Skip worked that way. And what that would do is this sort of break like the independence of validator nodes using Skip, because you'd be like always phoning home for directions, right? Like, hey, what do I do with this block? Stuff like that. No. Skip is a wrapper on top of Tendermint peer-to-peer. But wait, there's so much more. So anyway, if you go to the github.com/Tendermint/Tendermint, you'll see that I've written a couple of large pull requests recently. They've basically all been turned down, and basically all for the same reason of like, well, if we do that, right, it's going to be the end of the world. And of course, it's not. Anyhow, I refactored Tendermint last night in like a 10-hour code binge. Tendermint, the branch that I made, probably 10% the code, or not 10%, sorry, this is probably half the code. Mainly from the perspective of dependencies pulled into it. Now, every dependency adds security risk. This is actually one of the reasons why I'm an open source zealot, because every complex piece of software has dependencies, and if you want to be able to check those. Anyhow, holy shit, guys! I have this build of Juno that any of you dudes can run on your laptop. I can do the same thing with Osmosis, and it was all just really. It was all I did was combine the code that I wanted to write for Tendermint, and I had actually, you can go to the main Tendermint repo, you can see my pull requests, and I just did all of them in one place. And I was like, guys, I'm not going to scope the first. We talk about scoping a pull request. When you scope it, you're actually trying to narrow the focus to make it easier for somebody else to review. And I was like, guys, I'm the first one. I'm not going to scope it because I want to make a lot of changes that depend on each other. So this is a pull request that touches hundreds of files. It takes away every configurability option for the database. But what that means is that because you can't configure it, well, basically, the default mode supports like 5 different databases or something. There's no point. That's not like it doesn't accomplish anything. You just have more databases, and 4 of them really suck. So I took. Oh man, it's really good. You can go to github.com/notional-labs/mev-tendermint. And guys, I'm probably going to be running Skip, but you want to know the crazy part? Like I don't even know if I'm going to use their Mev stuff. They were like, no, it's open source. Like, do what you want to with it, and we're really happy to review your code and work with you on this stuff. And I'm like, oh my god, you're gonna save Cosmos with this attitude. It's great. I like
Calm down.
positive review.
Calm down. We're listening. You don't have to shout at us.
Wait,
I'm excited.
I'm lost. I'm a little bit lost. So, are you saying you're gonna work with the Skip team, or?
No, I'm just contributing.
Okay.
Yeah, like, and the modifications that they made are so small, like, because they made it so that a validator running Skip is not calling out to like an API or RPC on some remote system. Instead,
can you do me a favor and do everybody else a favor as well? Because I think sometimes they get lost. Could you, before you explain that, could you explain why a validator might be wanting to run Skip?
Yeah, totally. Can I talk about like the dystopian hellscape of like other MEV solutions real quick, and then get into Skip?
Yeah. Just think though. Just think. Sometimes.
Have you guys heard of Mechatech? Have you guys heard of Mechatech?
Jacob.
Or do you know anything about like the MEV landscape on Ethereum?
Jacob, can I give you a piece of advice?
Sure, yeah, what's up?
Like, you clearly know and understand all this stuff really well, but I think your brain is running at like 1,000,000 miles an hour. You're like explaining one thing and then you jump to another thing and then you jump to something and then you try and jump back. And that's like how people lose you. So I would try and focus on like complete like one thought at a time. And after we complete like a single thought and answer a question, then we can kind of move on to the next thought. That's just
like a validator would want. I'll try and follow your flow here. Okay. So to respond directly to Tank's question, a validator would want to run Skip because like everything else is much worse. I'll give you an example here from like Notional's perspective. There's really not a profit reason to run Skip. At least, currently it's not very significant at all. However, Skip is scope limited MEV. And what I mean by scope limited is like, well, MEV can involve some really unethical practices. If you look into the landscape of MEV on Ethereum, you're going to quickly find like, holy shit, like they really kind of fuck people over. And that's not nice, right? So there are alternatives to Skip being developed in Cosmos. And okay, first of all, a validator might want to run my code because it's really fast. And I used Skip's code. And it's really just derivative work from Tendermint with a bunch of really interesting modifications. But a validator might want to promote Skip like as a network-wide thing, because solutions like Mechatech, there's no holds barred. Jacob,
can I ask you just some very clear-cut questions, right? Just so I can like get my understanding as much as the audience, right? Just like quick little questions, right? Generally speaking, historically, MEV's always been viewed like a bit negative to retail. but it can be prosperous or advantageous. This skip protocol can be good in Cosmos, right? Is that correct? Yeah. You were saying about Ethereum. It's historically MEV been bad for people, unless you control.
I think that MEV is still bad.
Cool.
Like we're actually kind of forced into a situation of choosing between like least worsts. And before you say, oh, well, you need to solve that. I mean, yes, there are people working on solving it. Even the Osmosis team is working on like more fundamental solutions. It's likely to be a year, Anoma, because Anoma is private when the mempool, that's like the transaction queue, the chain, when that is private, MEV is either much harder or impossible. Probably closer to impossible with like today's techniques and technology. So what I would say to you, Robo, is actually MEV is bad. And all Skip is really doing that's better than others is that they're prohibiting the worst set of practices and at the same time writing really, really good code. Also, that worst set of practices is a solid 80% of MEV profits,
So right now, there's 53 validators running on Skip. Just looking at Juno right now, I'm sure there's like many other ones. No, is Notional running right now on Juno for Skip with Skip?
You know what's funny is like I think that we're going to use Skip's code, MEV Tendermint, but we might not set up for Skip just yet. Yeah, like because their modifications are so small, like I can use their code and modify their code and just sort of play around, and I don't need to. Okay, enrolling your validator in Skip works like their systems can see when you're going to be the next one to propose a block, and then because they're monitoring the mempool, they can transmit to you over peer-to-peer. This part is really important. One of the reasons I'm so excited about working on this stuff, actually, because they're broadcasting the messages to the nodes over peer-to-peer, encrypted, and then saying, okay, order the transactions in this block in this way.
So basically, in layman's terms, for everybody that doesn't know, the reason why a validator would want to run on top of Skip or running Skip on top of whatever chain they're validating for is it just basically makes them more efficient in capturing MEV, correct? Or am I wrong on that? Yes, I feel like I'm like yes and no. Like there's a gray area.
Yeah, okay, so like Skip is like MEV light. So first of all, yes, right? Like if you're not using either Skip or another alternative mecha tech, or worse still, I'm aware that there are some Cosmos validators that have written their own solutions. And like when you do that, you're not going to have the sort of ethical limitations that Skip put on the technology. And that's if you look at the anatomy of the practice, it's called sandwiching. As regards liquidity pools, I mean, I know that people are doing it. I know where they're doing it. I don't do it. And I think that it's the type of thing that like when you're doing it, over time and at scale, like it's going to leave like a black stain on your soul, and you're going to feel sad.
No, I like that you said that. I get it. Go ahead.
Okay, I'll wait. No. I just want to mention osmosis later when you finish. But go ahead, dude.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, I know depending on how like their operational setups are for their validator, there's gonna be many different reasons on why they might want to do that for themselves, particularly in the operation. But yeah, I think it's. I just want to say, if anybody has ever gone to Skip and looked at their dashboard, you can go to the chains and see how many validators are running Skip on the chain. If you go to Juno, you guys know I've been really focused on Juno lately. You can see that there's 53 validators running it running Skip right now for Juno. Jacob, in layman's terms, or especially possibly could you kind of explain, because if you go here and you look at the table on the 53 validators here, you can see that there's they have a breakdown of MEV percent that's back to the network and MEV that's kept by the validator. There's quite a few that obviously give back a good amount to the network, but then at the very bottom of this, there's also a handful of validators who keep 100% of the MEV.
Tank. I think I know exactly what we're talking about here, and it's been all over Twitter for how many days now, bro? There's been quite a few stories about this, and people came out in defense, right? Can I confirm it? Can I confirm at this stage? Is it dust? Is this MEV like dust? That's
what I want.
Currently it does. It may be gold bars in the future.
Go on,
does accumulate the gold bars later.
Damn, well, I'm not changing it down. I'm going to keep it 100%.
Do it.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
There's not really a reason for you not to.
What you can see
is a hell of a lot of work,
is you can see that the higher ups, I'm not pointing fingers at anybody in particular. I'm just using it as an example because it's right in front of my face. But as you can see, the lower validators on this list comparatively to the ones that are giving back basically 99% of MEV to the network are lower validators. And so like you said, I love that you said that, Jacob. Gold dust, while it is dust at the moment, could eventually end up being gold bars later. And so it makes sense.
Yeah, I think that Skip, their trajectory is straight toward gold bars. And I also think that Skip is pursuing things in a very strategically appropriate way. Guys, when I was considering investing in Skip, and yesterday I totally agreed to hell yeah, I'll put my pull requests to your branch. Shit, yeah, because they were asking for it. I saw your pull request on Tendermint. You want to jam? And I love to jam. So what I mean is that Skip is bringing more than MEV. I think that we're going to have a significantly improved build of Tendermint that develops over the next year. And that may begin to compete with or even displace the original Tendermint. But guys, that's the spirit of open source.
That's right? A bold statement. That's a bold statement, mind, isn't it? Oh, that's a bold statement.
Well, not if you're a software dev, man. If you're writing code and you're watching all these repositories, Tendermint has ship speed is quite low. The team is very conservative, and by the way, I love working with Informal. Basically, through a series of events that I can tell you about at a later time, I ended up working alongside one of their audit teams. Guys, they really do bring a lot to the table. I didn't even know until I began working through one of their audits, but okay, the informal / ICF point of view on software development is very conservative, and the Skip team is very competitive. I think that's just going to be really healthy.
Hey, Jacob, while I have you up here, before I forget, I don't know if you noticed or not or heard. So I'm going through the Juno top 40 validators all the way down to number 1. Just kind of giving a community review on their position and what they've been doing. When we finally get all the way down to you, because I know Notional is a big dog, they're all the way at the very, very bottom there. When I finally do end up getting there, would you mind jumping on a call with me or on a live stream and kind of going over how things are for Notional? I know you would. I just got to officially ask.
Yeah. I also want to talk to you about Spark IBC some. But yeah, let's like totally do that, and then
We'll leave
maybe
that. Leave that later. Leave that. We'll leave that later. Agree to go on the show, yeah.
Hey, homies. I actually hopped on here to jam AI with Rama. I think I'm gonna run.
Wait, I need Jacob. I need one answer from you.
Yeah.
Can I have one answer from you, right? So I'll put some stuff in the nest, right?
You have four.
If you go to the third post on the left from like the start, from the far right, obviously. Sorry, you got to go far left, and then it's the third one in, right?
What are you even talking about? With third
one in. Bro? Wait a minute. It's my tweet. It's my tweet. The third one in. It's just like, this is over a year ago, right? Bear in mind, I was in osmosis, like literally fucking, not right at the start, but like within the first 48 hours, right? This 1st of December, 2021, right? By the middle of next year, which was like the middle of this year, 6 months, this is now 6 months later, Osmosis Zone will be the only DEX who will be at the guarantee, and I meant like on obviously IBC, Cosmos, but the only DEX actually, I think, out there that can guarantee it, or could if they fucking ship. Number 1, no front running. Number 2, no MEV extraction. Number 3, no time-banded attacks. Now, a year ago, not long after they got the money, the 21 million investment, right, from your man, right, there was all this talk and all this bravado, right? Here we are a year later, mate. Look at the fucking interface. I mean, that liquid staking, the RAC devs could have put that in 24 hours, man, on that front end, man. What's going on, mate? What's happening with Osmosis? Because, like, this is me a year ago. I've got receipts, and I'm saying, like, Jacob, you're talking about, like, MEV and Osmosis. I heard you earlier mention Osmosis right at the beginning, and I'm thinking, well, people are just getting sick of waiting, Jacob. Do you know that? They're not shipping. It's disappointing, mind. They could have had such a monopoly on the entire fucking IBC industry by now, DEX industry. Could have had all the fucking liquidity, man. We could have been making loads of money, some of us.
You sound like one of these Coogee nuts. I mean, like...
Where's the development on Osmosis?
GitHub.
In the last...
Where's the development on Kujira? Ooh.
Here we go. Dude, you didn't do that by deflecting like it elsewhere. Like, I'm asking you the question outright. Don't deflect like that, man. Come on, man, dude. Don't insult my intelligence. There's a tweet up in there from a year ago, and I'm saying...
I'm very, very serious. Like, the code is on... Hey,
I
Robo,
don't think he wanted to make this about Kujira. Nobody brought up Kujira until you did, Jacob. He's asking a question about Osmosis.
Well, and only because Jacob mentioned Osmosis in the first MEV sentence. No, it's the first sentence he mentioned MEV. He mentioned Osmosis.
Well, yeah,
and then I'm like, well, I'm going to mention it.
And, I mean, well...
There's no excuse. There's no excuse for the lack of development on Osmosis. Sorry, like, absolutely no excuse. In literally, if you actually look since its inception, how many like new things have been brought in?
What the hell do you want? You wanted to give you a beach?
What the hell do I want? A year ago, I was bragging to people that it was going to be the only DEX that would guarantee this, and this, because I was listening to the right people, or so I thought.
Well, why is it going to guarantee it? It's not going to guarantee, like...
I believed in Sonny back then, man. I believed in a few people.
I still believe in Sonny. He's like my fat younger brother from the internet.
I know, dude. You told me like 100 times. I'm being honest.
Robo, maybe it's a better question is like what things have been happening under the hood that a developer or someone who's not a developer may not like understand by looking at the GitHub. Because I think Robo's point is from the user perspective. The DEX hasn't changed a whole lot, whereas maybe under the hood things have changed quite a bit. But if we don't know how to read code, we wouldn't really know that.
Yes, Harvey, but Harvey at that time, 12 months ago, right, they were bragging about like this and this and this is like 6 months away. Like there was so honestly, the comments I can go and probably find tweets from the upper echelon, not like Jacob. I'm talking about like, you know, the core devs or whatever, right, where they'll be like bragging about all sorts, man. Even Superfluid dragged on for how long? I mean, it's seriously, Jacob, dragged on for like so long from, I mean, don't come out and talk. Don't come out and talk in public.
That's not an uncommon thing in development. Timelines change all the time. I don't think it, like, what I would be curious to hear, because Jacob said check the GitHub, is like, if we were to check the GitHub, like, in general, what would we find and what would be the things that you feel as though are significant, but maybe users don't notice or see because they're not like front end changes?
A really good question. And by the way, like, okay, let's talk front end for 1 second. Wait, okay, you wanted to know what's under the hood. Let me tell you what's under the hood. Osmosis is the absolute fastest moving code base in Cosmos. They are shipping. Now, you may be wondering what the fuck is being shipped. And I've had this conversation before. What I mean is that, like, there clearly is some kind of a UI issue. Because Osmosis is much more than it started as. And in my opinion, they're like the best shippers in the Cosmos ecosystem. 13, I don't know if they're like, I hope there will be UI changes with 13 because 13 is going to have concentrated liquidity. 13 is going to have, what the hell is it called? Stable swaps. 13 is going to have validator set selection. Allow me to explain. You make delegations across a group of validators. 13 is going to have IBC rate limiting. Basically, like, it's sort of like an escape hatch if something ever goes the way of Terra again, you know? And it's really funny though. Like, my view on Osmosis is it's like a 180 from Robo's. And if I'm being constructive here, I mean, really, I think that does say, like, we do need to do things with the UI. Now, I'll tell you another thing. Is maybe a little embarrassing here. Fucking love the new UI. I've heard a lot of people don't love the new UI. I'm like, ooh, it's more animated and feels very smooth. I don't know. I'm a fan.
Jacob, what did you say? You've got an AI date with Rama. Is that what you were saying earlier? You said I've got a...
Yeah. We were gonna load up some sort of like a virtual reality thing. And,
it's like 2 a.m. It's like 2 a.m. for you.
Yeah.
It's like nearly 2 a.m., right?
Well, yeah. I mean, when the hell else is he gonna do it? I mean, he gets a little.
Well,
feisty,
go easy on him. He's just had a 16-hour day at work today, so go easy on him, bro. He's a bit fragile, all right? My little shoebox, you know. Okay, bro.
I mean, I hope this doesn't turn into like a Don Kevin thing where, like, you're talking about my dog again, and like.
Oh, don't go there. Don't go there. Anyway, I appreciate you.
Oh no, I'm going there. I'm going there because it's hilarious. Oh my God.
I appreciate you coming on, Jacob, and talking to us. Remember,
it just makes me laugh. Really, how that, like, all right, Notional's team is really like dudes who are. I think our oldest, actually, our oldest guy is a year older than me. Somebody I worked with for 7 years, another Vietnamese dude, and I've shipped software with him before. But other than that, I think our next oldest guy is 25. And so, like, I'll be training and mentoring and whatever, and be like, well, guys, what I do when I'm stuck is, like, I tweet, but, you got to keep in mind that, somebody might just start talking about your pecker. And they're screwed up about that.
We're at the bottom of the bear market. There's better things to talk about anyway. Right, no worries, dude. So are you is that what you got a call with Rama now? That's why he's not in here, if he's still awake.
No, I got a call with Juno in, like, I don't know, 20 minutes or something.
Dude, can I quickly ask you a question? I can't remember who it was. It was one of the top validators. It was either Cosmos Station, VD. I don't think it was SG1, but it was one of the top validators that made a tweet about the MEV extraction. The MEV payout or distribution the other day, right? And, like, I think it was like, because it was with Skip, obviously. They were like, that was the whole thing of the tweet. I think they're one of the biggest. They captured 2.4 Juno, didn't they? 2.4 Juno in one day through MEV across like one of the biggest validators on Juno, which is not doing that much traffic at the minute, right? It's about 2.4. And then like, what happens? Can I? Because I'm not clear about this, guy. Someone needs to fill me in, right? The distribution, like, how is the distribution like ratioed? Like, is it split equally by wallets, or is it weighted by delegation? Or very quickly, if you can fill me in, or if someone else can tell me, because I haven't even looked that far into Skip or anything. How does the distribution work? Very quickly.
I think that that they handle it.
No. But do you know yourself or not? If you don't know, just say I don't know. That's fine. Like, if you don't know, someone else might know.
Well, I believe that the rewards come from their like MEV marketplace.
No. How is it distributed though? Like Gaines was saying, like people are keeping 100%.
Centralized. So like,
but I mean, is it equally split between all of the wallets that are validating, or is it like weighted on by amount of delegation, like within the wallet? Am I making sense?
I think it's weighted by like stake weighted. You know,
okay.
Like that's how we pretty much do everything in Cosmo.
Ghazni might be able to tell us. Ghazi's jumped in. Jacob, sorry, interject. Ghazni, do you know?
Yeah, I have an intuition actually. So mostly on, actually I made a tweet from StakesIt also regarding this. Mostly on Juno, I don't think that MEV extraction is as much close to osmosis. So the transaction which they are saying, what I suspect is the transaction wherein White Whale took the flash loan to attack the RAC casino. Because that kind of a big transaction, I think they extracted something like 29 Juno. So that kind of big extraction is price difference only happens during something like a flash loan. So what I suspect is that transaction alone is due to that White Whale flash loan. Apart from that, I think on Juno, daily MEV extraction is something around $50 to $60. If it's distributed among the delegators, I did some number crunching for osmosis. If we are to like distribute the MEV at current rate, then per one osmo, you will get 0.005 osmo in a year for MEV extraction. So that is a 0.5% APR increase. And that's taking the upper bound of 3000 osmo MEV extraction per day. Chorus One has a bot which posts daily MEV extraction for Osmo. You can search Chorus MEV bot on Twitter. So they have an upper, mostly in the bear market, they are posting something like $3,000 upper limit with $300 to $400 lower limit for osmosis. But osmosis generates much more in MEV because there are a lot of transactions because of the exchange. But on Juno, the transaction number are very low, and hence the MEV number is also much lower than osmosis. Yeah.
So this is the one thing. This is the one thing that I'm curious about is if there is going to be an MEV marketplace, all these projections could change dramatically based off of how much people are willing to pay for block space, right?
Yeah, sure. Because you see, when someone is paying for the block space or MEV, they're actually making a profit. So let's say I see a transaction which is profitable for me. So I'll give, let's say, 90% to the validator, 90% of the profits to the validator, so that my transaction is prioritized before my competitor. So that 90%, again, from that 90%, the validator will keep their stake. Let's say they are taking 10% of MEV and distributing 90% to their delegators. So from that, they'll take 10% of theirs and give the rest of the 90% to their delegators.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then I guess kind of going back to Jacob had mentioned earlier, he's like, I think MEV is just bad and we're just kind of like stuck with dealing with this. I think it's kind of like one of those situations where you're like, all right, this exists. Like we can kind of like shove it in a corner, pretend like it doesn't exist. But then once the number goes up, we can't really ignore it anymore, right? And so now we have to kind of be like, all right, well, let's bring this like bastard stepchild into the room and like have a talk with him and like figure out how we can incorporate him into the family. And this is what it sounds like is happening with Skip. So then it's just really a matter of figuring out like which ethical parties are willing to create these marketplaces.
Well, you ever have a friend who's an asshole? Like, and they just sort of like break things around them, right? Well,
don't hold back there, Jacob. Don't hold back, bro.
MEV is kind of like your asshole friend, right? Like, you just want him to chill some. And Skip, basically, they create in protocol rules about like, no. You're not gonna get drunk and tear up the whole fucking place again while ranting about, whatever. And that's good news, because if we look at Ethereum and what's going on with, what is that called, guys? There's a certain, is it Flashbots?
Flashbots.
Yeah. I mean, guys, they like basically run ETH. And that's then very, again, I'm being very opinionated here, but like, I think it's really harmful to Ethereum and to the stated goals.
Well, I mean, the clue's in the fucking title, isn't it? MEV, the clue's in the initials itself, right? Aye, there's value being extracted, right? I mean, it's fucking self-explanatory, pretty much, to a degree.
Yeah, and it seems like, I don't know, like looking at all the people who are here, I think everyone here is probably pretty familiar with MEV. There's some interesting solutions to the MEV problem on Ethereum, though. It just comes down to whether or not the user knows about them, right? So, like, if you, for example, use CowSwap, the pool is hidden, so those bots can't access it. So okay, Jacob doesn't agree. Let's hear what he has to say.
Oh well, I don't know about CowSwap. Okay, what I know is that.
How are you going to disagree with me when you don't even know about it?
Well, no. Well, because it's due to the level of pervasiveness of services that allow you to reorder Ethereum blocks. And if your transaction is going into an Ethereum block, the MEV artists can fuck with it. End of story. And my dark view, I do have an optimistic view on ETH too, but like my dark view on ETH is that like actually the proof of stake transition may have killed it. And if that's the case, it's not really so much the MEV practitioners that are like dancing on Ethereum's grave, but it's more like, you went from maybe under 20 for sure, scaled Ethereum miners and the Bitcoin mining game, similar to the ETH mining game, like the bigger you are, the better your economies of scale are. And once you get those better economies of scale, you can really, really compete. And so basically, like the number of large ETH miners would actually go down over time, right? And if you look at sort of the history of these large miners, some of them were doing surprisingly nasty stuff. Now, before I hop off, and I am going to hop on a second here, I'm going to explain to you guys like why and how MEV exists. And I also want to encourage you guys to like stop me if I'm too technical or not going in a straight line. All right. I'm going to speak to Cosmos specifically. In Tendermint, there is, basically a shared RAM state that we refer to as the mempool. When you make an Osmosis transaction or a Cosmos Hub transaction, it goes in to this thing that we call the mempool. Reaping, like I'm talking like reaping wheat, right? Reaping the mempool is completely voluntary. So as a validator, you don't actually have to put anybody's transactions in your block. You can print empty blocks if you'd like to. Or you can lower your fees and have tons of transactions in your block, because when you have lower fees compared to other validators, when your node comes up to reap the mempool, think about like the mempool is like plants. They're just chilling there, right? And you can, as a validator, you go and you pick up and harvest all the plants. And typically, validators in Cosmos will reap the entire mempool. And the reward for reaping the mempool is, you get transaction fees and stuff, but that's actually distributed across the whole validator set with the distribution module, and also to the delegators. Really, it's more delegator-centric than it is validator-centric. But point being, you can choose to do nothing. Now, the opposite of this, okay, is you can also, hey, there are the following transactions in the mempool. I am going to ignore, let's say, out of 100, 90 of them, but I see these 10. And if I arrange them in just the right order, I can profit massively. And is, again, I don't really think we're talking about ethical profit, especially when we get into techniques like sandwiching, which is basically like you trade in anticipation of somebody else's trade that you only have knowledge of because you're monitoring the mempool, okay? And that is going to move prices and things in your favor. Their trade executes after yours because you, as a validator, have taken the mempool, which, remember, it's, you can do stuff with the transactions in the mempool. You can process them and commit them to the blockchain, or as a validator, you can choose to do nothing. That's part of the scalability design of Tendermint. And so, basically, though, like, the window for MEV comes up because, and this is true of Bitcoin mining, of Ethereum mining, and of every context that I've heard of MEV, is that basically, and this so everybody knows, it's kind of a security thing, why the process is so hands-off, but like all of these networks work in more or less the same way. When a user makes a transaction, that transaction is kept in the mempool, and in Cosmos, we usually empty the whole mempool every 6 seconds or so. But there's no need to empty the mempool, and if you want to, anybody in the audience could go and stand up validator on any one of many Cosmos networks, and once you have enough information to be able to predict when it's going to be your round, when you propose the block, you can then have additional software that's sort of by default, let's say, chilling in the background. And the additional software, it can reorder the transactions in the block because by default, and people say it's first in, first out, and I almost call bullshit on that. It's really the transaction ordering in Cosmos is, hey, I'm a validator, I'll do whatever the fuck I want to, blah, 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 blah. Right? Like that. I mean, that's
like extorting projects.
No, I was talking about MEV, and no, I don't extort projects. I was talking about, the order of transactions in blocks.
I like that. I was following that more than any bloody conversation tonight or any comment.
Yeah, that was a solid linear train of thought, Jacob. I gotta bounce, but this was fun. I'll see you guys later.
Cool. Hey man, I'll catch you too. I'm gonna run also. I'll see you guys later.
Take care, Jacob. Watch what you're doing.
Yeah.
We've got a few. Oh, go on. Is that Joey? Yeah. Joey, I was just going to welcome a few people who were here earlier, but go ahead, Joey. What were you going to say there? Oh, did he jump as well? He was going to say something there, wasn't he? He only came in to speak to Jacob, I think. Oh, he's connecting back again. The people, guys, I know, like, some of you have been up ages, like Slinky, like Giannis, like Cephii. Hey, Cephii, hello, bro. I want to ask you a quick question.
Yeah, what you guys up to?
Just chatting shit, mate. Well, we had Jacob on, and MEV was the topic at the hot topic at the moment. I don't know really how we got onto that. I think it was how did we get onto that, Gaines? I'm not too sure. By the way, dude, I wanted to ask you, how's the wife doing? First question, most important.
Doing well. Mostly recovered.
Good. I'm pleased to hear that, bro. Just in time for Christmas, yeah. Class. And what about the boy? What about the boy in college? Is he liking it?
Yeah, doing great. He'll be coming home for Christmas.
Superb. Oh, has he not been home since he left? Like, he would have left in, what, September or something, yeah?
No, he came briefly for Thanksgiving. I think he found himself a new girlfriend and stuff, so we'll see how that goes.
Has he? Oh, there you go. Yeah, man. He's a chip off the old block now. I mean, guys, I know there's loads of people here, and I did want to talk about very, very quickly for like a minute about RAC. And I did want to just touch on Tank's spaces last night, because I listened to the whole thing about that validator. And I thought that was quite interesting. And I want to talk about this grading system. Cephii, you probably have, like, have you got any, like, opinions or comments on, like, MEV or Skip in particular? Are you familiar with them? I mean, we might as well get the MEV conversation finished as soon as possible. I noticed you came in and listened. Do you got anything to say?
Yeah, I was listening to what Jacob had to say. I understand the concept of MEV a little bit. I'm not sure I fully understand the technicalities of how, like, all the nuances of how that's exploited to extract value. I think it's an obvious side effect of blockchains.
Okay. I can give some context into this. Okay. So in my opinion, MEV is a byproduct of privacy leak. So in proof of stake, right now we have validators, and validators enjoy an unfair advantage wherein they can see transactions before they are finalized, right? So if I see a transaction, let's say someone is swapping 1 million Osmo for 0.1 million Atom, let's say. So this is a big transaction, and if the pool liquidity is not as much, this is going to move the price a lot, right? So that person is going to suffer a lot of slippage. As a validator, what I can do, if I see that, okay, this person is swapping a big amount of Osmo, I know that price is going to slip a lot. What I'll do is I'll take a flash loan, let's say from Whitewell DeFi. I'll take a flash loan for $1 million. I'll buy that Atom and push the price up, and then put this other person's transaction below me. Now he'll suffer a lot more slippage, and then execute my end transaction wherein I sell my rewards, which I bought before this person.
Basically,
so as a result,
you can see it as the system kind of trading against you, essentially.
Yeah, basically the validator is trading against you. In Ethereum's case, before it moved to proof of stake, miners were trading against the users of the blockchain. Yeah, so basically they are stealing some money from the users.
Yeah, it's basically an epiphenomenon of the design of public blockchain, essentially. And yeah, without the privacy piece, you have this issue. It's a similar thing in some ways to like a centralized exchange, sort of being also a market maker simultaneously and trading against its users, or like in FTX's example, borrowing users' funds and doing whatever the fuck they want with them. So there's like different ways to
front running every user, Cephii.
Yeah, there's different ways to trade against user. Yeah. So like the way that this is solved in centralized systems is typically like if you're a brokerage like a Fidelity.com or a I don't know, I'm sure you've TD Waterhouse or whoever. if your way of making money is by being a brokerage, then typically you cannot also simultaneously be a market maker. So that's why like a BlackRock or a Citadel or someone else will come and be a market maker. And the knowledge, like where people get in trouble, even in that circumstance, is like, let's say the Robinhood people and the Citadel people are talking to each other and coordinating to like trade against their customers. The MEV example would be like a similar situation where you know what the order book looks like ahead of time, and you're able to use that information to extract value. But I don't know that like at the end of the day, like, I don't know, the end user could basically imagine that MEV, at least in this context, anybody can participate in MEV, like any validators or whoever. So I suppose it's like a difference between a centralized value extraction versus a decentralized one. And maybe that's just the cost of doing business. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so right now, people are actually deploying bots and doing these ARB transactions. So Chorus One has a bot which tells how much value is being extracted per day on Osmo. So today, I think it was around $300 to $400, and the top bot who does these transactions is earning around $200 per day. So right now, what they do is they spam the transactions, because Osmosis is all Cosmos chains right now are first in, first out. So the bots are trying to be the first one to put the transaction. So they spam the blockchain in order to get their transaction before someone else. What Skip is going to do, they're going to make a market, right? So they'll say that, okay, each and every, let's say I'm a validator from Cephii, okay? I'm going to make the next block. What I'll do is I'll partner with Skip, and I'll say that, okay, out of the top of the block, I'll give it to Skip, and Skip can give me some transaction which I can put on top of my block, right? Now what Skip will do, Skip will partner with these people who want to put their transaction on the top, and it will have a market. It will say, okay, how much you want to pay me or us to put your transaction on the top of the block. Out of that, Skip right now is sharing 100% of the revenue share and is not taking anything for themselves. So let's say Cephii is a person who sees that, okay, there is a transaction which I can use to extract some arbitrage. So what he'll do is he'll go to the Skip protocol, and he'll say, okay, let's say he's earning 10 Osmo in that ARB transaction. So he'll say that, okay, I'll give you 8 Osmo for my rewards, and the 2 Osmo I'll keep to myself. Now let's say Bbandz is another one who is competing with Cephii. So what he'll say that, okay, I'll give you 9 Osmo instead of 8. You put my transaction even below Cephii, even above Cephii. So in this case, what will happen? Bbandz transaction will go through, and Cephii's transaction will not go through. And Bbandz will gain 1 Osmo in the ARB as his profit, and he'll give 9 Osmo back to the validator who put the, let's say, as stakes Ito, my validator made that block, and I got 9 Osmo. Now what I'll do, let's say I share 90% of the MEV with my stakers, and I keep 10% to myself. So out of that 9 Osmo, I'll keep 0.9 Osmo for my validator, and I'll share the rest 7.9 Osmo with my delegators. So this is the mechanism.
Yeah, so basically, yeah, these protocols are democratizing MEV the same way like Kujira democratizes liquidations. It's kind of like instead of like this being only available to the select few who know how to use this sort of thing. Skip is able to get a lot more liquidity in. Maybe they're not very rich personally, but they can bring a lot of user funds in, and they can make that 10%, and then they can pass on the rest of 90% to everybody else, something like that. Same way Kujira liquidations, they make some money while at the same time they give you the opportunity to, like buy coins for cheaper at liquidation prices and things like that. So yeah, I think these things are good. Like I think ultimately, like if MEV cannot be eliminated as a process on the chain, on a public blockchain, then these types of protocols become sort of the next process to sort of make sure that like it becomes somewhat fair. Although in the end of the day, it's like you imagine that you would eventually want to have a blockchain built specifically to handle this and bring back value to the chain at a base level. Like the chain itself should have a way to have that money go to, say, for example, the community pool or something like that. It doesn't make sense to have like a secondary protocol. I think like when a lot of blockchains, especially Cosmos and Ethereum and such, were created, like people hadn't really fully thought out like what the consequences of MEV were going to be, and they hadn't fully thought out what the consequences of liquid staking derivatives would be. Both of them are sort of like epiphenomenon that when they get big enough, they create a whole nother layer of like problems that that had those been considered as like, I don't know, outcomes early on in the design of the chain, like the chain would have like, so a properly designed chain today should include liquid staking as a base function, so that like any kind of governance problems or like centralization problems get taken care of at a protocol level. And the same could be said of MEV, like your chain itself should have a solution for MEV, not have these externalities. So that way the users of the chain in general get the profit or whatever either into the community pool or as a function of the fees or something like that.
Well, Osmosis
in my
were
mind,
promising
right?
this 12 months ago, Cephii. Osmosis were promising this 12 months ago, built into the chain. Obviously, they're at L1,
Yeah, I mean,
but it was...
in my mind, like that's where it needs to go long term. That these were simply oversights that people hadn't thought of in the design of blockchains. And like now, if you were to start from scratch, like you're designing a chain today from scratch, like these two problems need to be solved, right? Like the liquid staking problem and also the MEV problem.
Well, I believe, don't quote me on this, guys, and we're going to end the MEV conversation because it's like, I'm looking at the clock, Gaines, 1 hour, 10 minutes of pure MEV. Wow. Guys, I'm MEV'd out. I don't know about you guys. It's Celestia. Guys, Celestia is going to fix quite a number of these problems, but I'm not going to go on about that right now. Gaines, there's a few people here. I just really want... there's a few people left as well. I want to say about Rec News. I mean, Rec News has come back, right? And look at this fucking post from the man. Live from the spaces. Jacob Gadikian put on the spot by Robo vs Web3 about poor development on Osmosis. Gadikian deflects and attempts to FUD Team Kajura. Gadikian then makes incomprehensible sounds. I mean, this is getting out of hand. This fucking Rec News is getting out of hand, mind. Even Miss Slinky was in Rec News yesterday, Gaines, yeah? Dude, come on.
I don't remember that. Wait, I do remember that. But the
strawberry wars. Oh, that was so funny. Do you know something last night, Gaines? I think that's the most I've cried laughing in probably 10 years when we were talking about the clothes and you went fucking mad and you were fucking... Hey, bro, what are you talking about? Can you even ride a horse? When, like, I think Ghostface was asking you if you like a nice cardigan or something, if you wear cardigans. And you're
all right. Hold it right there. Who in this room that is a man wears a goddamn cardigan? Who?
Thumbs up for the cardigan. Girls as well. Thumbs up for the cardigan. Come on. Let me see the thumbs up emojis for the cardigans. For the lads. Oh, Amanda, thumbs down. You would. Amanda was thumbs up last night. That was so funny when Ghost was going on about his suits. I was absolutely crying, dude. Honestly, I was in utter hysterics. Anyway, just a few guys. Very, very, very quick update. RAC's code is in testing. Could have been out today. They just want to do more stress tests. But they think that they might have like clicked something or figured something out in the architecture. I can't really go into it too much, but they have kind of figured like a couple of things out. Like put it this way, right? They've looked at it in a different way and kind of reversed engineered shit, and like they've found some other exploits that are not just related to flash loans. And they've also been looking at some open source code that might just well be exposed to like similar vulnerabilities. I'm not going to say much more than that. Listen, they were going to come on tonight, but they just want to giga test gains. You know what they're like. They did 200 million fucking simulations on those slots gains, right? Ridiculous numbers of simulations are run, guys. You wouldn't believe it.
Yeah, they're really heads down right now, focusing on the smart contracts. Just give them time. Just give them time. I know people are getting a little bit anxious, want to start gambling away their tokens. Just chill.
But do you know why, Gaines? Do you know why? This is the best thing that could have happened to us. Do you know why? Simply for the fact that it's made them more determined, like more, oh, dude, whoever hacked our DAP, right? You shouldn't have. You've created absolute monsters. I've never known anything like these guys over the last couple of weeks, man. Even I was like, whoa, dudes, I'll just like leave you alone for a few days. Talk to me when you take a breather out the basement. I mean, they are going nuts, right, with the code. And they're going to continue. They're like, right, dude, fuck this. Like we're all in now. Like, we're going to bang these games out for fun games. We're going to see some fun and games. And the next, like, Q1 for RAC will be massive. I fucking guarantee you.
Why is it that your man, Cephii, always runs away when we start talking about Raccoon?
Oh, but Bruce has probably put up one of those silent spaces that he likes to do. So he's had to go and run to join that. Yeah, like, I don't know about you, but, you know, you get the daily play of the spaces. Like, you flick up and you'll put it on to see what's going on. And, you know, you get, like, about 10 different spaces. Like, you know, the tab in the middle. Dude, Bruce is, like, came on today when one had finished. And he had a silent spaces for, like, 20 minutes. I get the irony, like, in the title, but it's just not funny, like I said. It's just, like, nothing amusing about it whatsoever. I was just like, is this supposed to be humor or something, like comedy, or like, man, like, you're just wasting people's time.
Robo, some people have so much time, they don't have, you know, anything better to do than host a 20-minute silent space. just kind of crazy.
So I don't want to mention that much about RAC, but I do want to mention our Ghostface has joined the room. I do want to mention something, guys, right? And I don't care, this is recorded. I don't care who's in the room and who's not. I had a conversation with the devs today, the RAC devs, right? And they've been actually, like, while they've been working, they've been listening to some spaces, yeah. And they're a bit fucking pissed off, like. And anyone can go and carry this message to the people that it's meant for who are not here, right? Are you all listening? I don't care who you talk to. This is meant for your ears. So one of you little rats that's probably in here will go and pass the message on, right? They are pissed off with fucking people on spaces saying, oh, the RAC gang don't want to make friends. Simply because they don't want to waste time doing a fucking collaboration. I've said this in a tweet, and I'm going to put this in the nest in a minute, right? When you're getting 50 collab offers a week, guys, and all they want to do is ship games. It's done their fucking head in. The Dragons, not Sky Monks, the Dragons, that was an absolutely, totally organic, natural collaboration. You know why? Because fucking Moll bought the NFTs and then hit the guy up to, like, talk to him about, like, Moll and Zab both love the Dragons. They both fucking got the game and the eggs and everything, right? They're right into it. That's why the Dragons collab came along. And then people are getting jealous because Dragons were the first one up on the lottery, and then, you know, we'll take the token on the platform, right? I'm telling you guys, right? Whoever, and it's not, most of you in the room will be sound as fuck. There might be one or two rats, right? I don't know. They might go running to their bosses because they know what I'm talking about. Same person said this 3 times in, like, the last 10 days, and it's starting to piss people off. If I hear on a space anymore, and when I did hear it the other night, I was down as a listener, and it was fucking late, or I would have said something. If I hear any more about people on spaces saying, oh, the RAC gang don't want to make friends, I'm going to fucking come up and bite your head off, like, because we're fucking sick of it. You plebs, man, just want to ride our coattails and ride off our names, man. We were fucking doing everything first, man. Look at the plebs copying this shit, man. copying the tats, copying the fucking, the fucking rap, fucking whatever you want to call it. Anyway, listen, it stops and it stops now. And that's it. And I'm telling you, this has come out the dev's mouth tonight. Then they're like, what are these fucking plebs doing, talking about like we don't want to make friends just because we're fucking shipping? We're not community, sitting and riding off the back of your fucking community, making your memes, man. That's what you've made your career on. The people who bought your fucking NFTs and got rugged to death. And you've all been on the fucking Titanic sinking since. Didn't come in our world, right? That's why I fucking called this space to get that out. Sorry, Gaines, I do apologise, but we had this conversation, Mull and I, like 40 minutes before the space. And I fucking knew it was coming because I've been pissed off, dude.
I get very uncomfortable when you get like super annoying, and super like sad, and super pissed. I get very uncomfortable.
Are you in your safe space?
Why don't Rax want to be friends with Owlies, bro? Why, man? Why you ain't our friends?
Dude,
here's one of them.
Not about. No, I am. I'm cool. I'm cool with you. Like, I'm cool with all the NFT projects, dude. I've got no beef. But like, when you get up in the spaces and talk bad, like, not talking bad, just like, well, we don't know what it is with the RAC guys. You know, we reached out. You know, they don't want to make friends. That would saying you don't want to make friends because you say like you haven't got time for a collaboration. That's fucking being duplicitous. And saying that behind closed doors is one thing. Saying it in public is another. And I'm fucking telling.
The rec news already quoted you, bro. You're in shit, man.
I don't care.
Shit.
What do you think? What did I say? Do I care?
I heard a rumor that the racks are gonna list Stardust when it goes live.
Dude, you know something? We want to be everywhere. You wouldn't believe the research that the devs are doing at the minute. Oh, it's crazy. I'm telling you, guys, these the thing about these two is they'll ship code day and night, and you know, across the board, like they've got no fears. Like they're just like, right, hey, we've got you lot, like the community, like behind them. Let's just go for it. Gaines, how silent has that RAC Discord been this week? It's been really quiet, right?
Yeah, it has been quiet.
Really quiet. Because no one's felt the need to like bother anyone, or like it's like, right, okay, we got a knockback. Hey, what's going to happen? We're like Rocky. Have you seen Rocky?
I think it's good though, Robo. I think it's good though that it's quiet because we don't have paid moderators in the raccoon community, right? As far as I'm aware, we don't have like a 30 army of paid moderators talking amongst each other to make it seem like it's busy, right? So, and that just causes distractions. So I'm glad it's kind of quiet. We're respecting the devs' time.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And you know what?
That's one way to navigate how dead your Discord is.
Excuse me? Who said
that? Wolf? What did Wolf say?
I said that's one way to navigate how dead your Discord is. And
I was going to say, that's most of us just blame the bear market, but whatever, you do you.
Look at Ghostface. Look at Ghostface, dude. He's ironing his shirt.
No way. Is he on the couch again?
That's not a shirt. I'm ironing my sweater. Thank you.
Cardigan. Sorry, bro.
Who irons a sweater? How do sweaters need ironing? I've never owned a sweater.
Hey, I just had a quick question. I tried to cash this check from Rax for community moderating and managing, and the check bounced. And I don't know what to do with it now.
Is that Sajoshi Nakabozo, the second year? Oh, it's not. It's Finn Schlong. No way. Is that Finn Schling Kong Condong Schlong Long Dong?
Finn Schlongington.
Schlongington. Oh my God. Jesus. Wolf, have you minted any schlongs?
Actually, I did. Yeah. We have like I don't know, 10 in the vault.
He's got 10 schlongs in the vault? That's made Finn's day, that.
How big is that vault, Wolfman? How big is your vault?
Let's get in there, man. We're actually I'm actually about to publish a white paper on it and the tokenomics behind it all. So a lot more will be coming out and pretty soon on how it's all going to work. So I'm pretty excited about that. It's kind of interesting because a lot of the watchers are going into the vault. I've already gone into the vault, so they'll earn Stardust token in the vault. They'll also earn their own token, which we can distribute to stakers of the O token. It's pretty cool because like we're mining our tokens instead of minting a bunch and distributing them. So you have to stake to mine the tokens to get the Stardust token to get the O token, and then you also have to LP to mine the branch token, which is pretty interesting. So
Squid.
What's this fucking squid thing? Am I the only one that doesn't know about what squid is? You keep saying this thing, and it's like, I feel like I missed a space where this became a thing, and I'm like, what? I'm done writing. What's going on? Can anyone fill me in on squid, please? Amanda, do you know?
Check out Yumi.
She doesn't know anything, and this is my thing. It's only my thing. It's my thing, and yeah,
Whatever,
that's all you
Gaines.
need to know. Robo squid.
Touchy. Gaines a bit
Right.
touchy there.
I'm leaving.
Whoa.
Gaines, I can't believe you upset her again, man. Right, can we change the story? Anyway, raccoons, all positive. We're making a comeback. Let's see what happens. I do quickly, not for too long, because he did an hour and a half last night. I do want to touch on Tank and his report last night on the validator. Now, there is something I want to mention to Tank about this, right? Is that his grading system. So this is what I want to talk to Tank about, right? Tank, you were giving people like grades like in school, which I thought was fantastic. And then at the end, Timmy pushed you on a number between like 1 and 10. And I was like, oh, Timmy, don't spoil the grade system. Because like, dude, you were like, oh, I'm giving them a C minus or D plus for this one. And I'm like, I'm buying into that shit. Tank, bring back the grade system, please. For the love of mercy.
Headed into work, guys. Cheers. Have a good morning.
See ya, bro. Take it easy.
Take care, man.
Robo, about the whole grading system. I think just a piece of advice for Tank is make it public. Make it public, right? That you have this grading system and that you're going to do some reviews, just so that people can look it over, and so that it can be fair, right? Because I don't. What
yeah,
if,
but he needs to use something like what we would know as a traditional like grading system, or even better, a Likert scale. I mean, essentially, like what you would maybe use for this would be a Likert scale, right? You know, like your Likert scale, your degrees, right? There's always like 5 degrees, yeah. You know what I'm talking about, like, yeah. Like, let's say very good, like for example, but you can do better. You can have like plebtastic or whatever, right? Status, anything you want, yeah. But you got like very good, good. Average, poor, very poor. You know the 5. You know Likert scale, yeah.
I think we should.
Likert scale.
I think the scale should be either you're the worst of the worst crypto like Mo, right? Or you're the best of the best, like.
Yeah, well, that's a Likert scale. That's a Likert scale. There's 5 degrees on a Likert scale, so you'll see them on like surveys. Like, let me think of some of them that's on the Likert scales. There's like several, isn't there? There's like never, rarely, sometimes, often, always. Like, how often do you visit this place or whatever? You know, there's like what, like hate, dislike, don't mind, like, love, right? Isn't there? There's like, if you Google Likert scale, it's a fucking thing that they do, like for all kinds of like surveys and shit. That's the kind of thing he needs, a proper setup, and he can like upload each category, because he's got different categories, right? Like social media presence, governance, participation, management, like the running of the business, etc., right? Things like websites, etc., right? He grades like lots of different things, yeah? It would be great for all of these little things to be like, I don't know, what, a spreadsheet or snapshot of like an Excel or something like that, where you just see like at the end of like every week, you see like whatever it gets. I don't know whether it's an A+ or fucking whatever. You know what I mean? Between 1 and 10, between 1 and 10 is a bit like just random, isn't it?
Right.
What else has been happening anyway?
Sorry, let me just Let me just apologize to Amanda for being so rude.
Cook.
Amanda, I'm sorry.
The cook.
I'm sorry. Squid.
What the fuck?
Listen.
Okay, I forgive you.
Amanda, I saw a picture of Gaines, right, yesterday. Oh my God. He looks like a fucking Wild West hero. I've never seen such a more manly man on the back of a horse in my entire life. I'm telling you. And wait, no cowboy hat. He's got the cap on.
Throw it in the nest.
No, he's got the cap. Nah, I'm not going to do that to him, man. It's a thirst trap. Listen, she wants a thirst trap. Bbandz is up and speaking now. Look at Bbandz straight in on the thirst trap. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Is that the one that's already on Twitter?
No.
Riding the horse. You ride horses, Gaines?
No, that's fucking from the
G.
show. That's from the Yellowstone show.
He's a G. His boots.
Spitting image.
Oh, well, yeah. Oh, okay.
Amanda, you should see his boots. 299 rattlesnakes died in the making of those boots, and I've never seen anything like them in my entire life. I swear to God.
Oh my God. I literally can't see. Gaines, are you actually like a country boy?
Is he folk?
What you mean?
He's a gangster.
What you mean?
He's essay? He's an essay? Essay?
I'm so bad.
Weird.
I apologize now, Gaines.
Gaines and Ghostface last night with that conversation, I was crying listening to those two. And then, who was it told?
Mono. Hey, bro. Mono.
Oh, Ghostface is back up.
Yeah, real quick, because, this sweater, it came out pretty crispy, and the reason that you freaking iron sweaters is because when they're in the closet, sometimes they get wrinkled, and you can't go to the office with the wrinkled sweater, and I'm wearing a bow tie today too, eh? So, hey, but Mono, seriously, you got some bow ties or what?
Dude, is it there? It's winter then where you are, right? If you're wearing a sweater, it's winter, yeah.
I'll wear a sweater in the middle of summer. I just like to look cool.
What?
Oof, where's Spin?
Tie with a sweater. Obviously, you've got to wear the tie with a sweater. If you've got the sweater on and no tie for work, like you're just the ultimate pleb. Like especially when the collar like comes over the top of the sweater. I'm not a fan of that look, mind.
No, that's the messy American look.
The collar outside of the neck of the sweater. It's a pleb look, that like, isn't it? Right, no more clothes. We have some more topics, man. I'm gonna finish it in a bit anyway. But Tank, yeah, I thought that was great. I was glued to it like last night, Gaines, where he was just like going through, and it's like he's like, right, I'm just gonna go away and have a look. Oh, and he's like getting the surprises, like when he's looking at like the Comdex validator, and he couldn't find them on Atom, and like there was like lots of shady shit, wasn't there, with that validator last night? Look, and what number were they? Like 30 something or something? What number are they? That fucking, what is it, Blue Stake or whatever?
39, I think it was.
39 in the plebs like that? Like, the website's an atrocity, isn't it? Who the fuck built that website? Who the fuck built that? Fucking Chubby Baby. Is that who built that fucking website?
I had to listen to the recording. So was he also doing like a live stream on Spaces? What, like, was he doing YouTube and Spaces at the same time to let people see what he was actually looking at?
I don't know. I don't know. I only woke up to the space. This was when I was asleep. I've got no idea, dude. I presume it was like around about 1 o'clock or something his time. Yeah. I just listened to the space, the whole space. It was quite long. He didn't get them on. I heard him ask Jacob like tonight. He's like, "Oh, you're down the list, but when I get here, will you come on?" It's a shame, like, if you reach out to a validator, like, and they're like, "Nah, mate, I'll let you go ahead and, like, and not come on." And I'll tell you what else was shitting all last night. The fucking IBC fucking friends. They're not fucking friends, are they? Not turning up for that show last night. Plebs. How unprofessional is that? It's worse than me when I slept in 10 minutes for the angel drop, isn't it?
10 minutes? 45 minutes, dude.
I slept in 10 minutes.
It was 45 minutes, dude. It was 45. It was like 15 minutes And then we were like, all right, we'll just start our
Oh,
our
15
own
minutes.
space.
Oh, no, it was 15 minutes when I woke up. That's right, 15. Sorry, I forgot. Not 10, it was 15. You've just corrected me. You're right. Okay.
Well, 15.
I'll take 15.
It was 45 minutes.
No, you
until
just said it was
showed up in that
15. You said
space.
it wasn't. You said
No,
it
no,
wasn't
no,
10,
no,
it was
no.
15. Nah,
We
dude, don't
waited.
walk this. Dude, don't walk it back.
What? Did you
Oh,
just mute me
No.
again, Rob?
No, I didn't mute you. What are you talking about? Of course I haven't muted you. Everybody can see I haven't muted you, you pleb. Gaines, man, acting like he's good. Did you mute me and we could hear him? Oh, my God. Michael's here, wait, we had a few other people. Wait a minute. There's a few people in the audience that I don't know how many we can invite up. There's Michael back up again.
Bbandz is here. Bbandz has it.
Much like the one.
She wouldn't say
Bbandz
that.
came up for thirst trap picks.
No, actually, Gaines sent them to me in DM. What are you talking about?
Shut the fuck up, Bbandz.
Cat fight.
Down horrendous.
Hey, Bbandz Jo, I know you don't get involved in the politics sometimes, but at the beginning of the call, we were talking about your man, Jim Yang from Osmosis, starting to repent his sins now, like, and I love Cosmos, and I'm sorry about my tweets, and he's been going mad for like 4 days. I bet he's been raging on the fucking whiskey, that Korean whiskey. That's fucking mad, man. I bet he's been that right shit. I bet he's been hammering that, man, and he's just sobered up and looked at his Twitter and he's like, fuck. For fucking days he's been going hammer and tongs at projects, man. Hammer and tongs, and then the pleb just becomes a better cook. These people, man, they're not fantastic examples, like, are they? Like, who, can I ask you a question? All of you in the room, we'll have a panel. Come on. Who are we supposed to trust in this fucking ego? Like seriously, like, where do you start? Like, these people who are building protocols and fucking, in charge of the fucking source code of your fucking wallets and shit, right? Where do you start? Gins, how do you pick a good one from a bad one? Like a good apple from a bad one, maybe?
Robo, if you trust anyone in crypto, you shouldn't be in crypto.
I know.
Right?
Totally correct, Slinky. Their egos are just off the map, aren't they? The egos are fucking ridiculous. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? About Jim Yang's behaviour, like, in the last, like, over, like, Tory and Rebus and who else? Kujira and a few others. I mean, just...
Well, I'll speak on that a little bit.
Yes, Michael?
He's been around for a long time. And he was sort of there from the start, working on this with Jay and the rest of that team. And I do understand, sometimes when you build something that was so intimate at first, you're building it with such a small team, and then over time, it grows and grows, and then you still have that sort of, not necessarily, but some people have like sort of possessiveness over, which is completely understandable, because this like baby that you grew turned into this like massive thing that like thousands of people are using, and now it's sort of outgrown sort of that small insular community, and now there's all these different people contributing, and so I do understand where he's coming from, and it's all, it's definitely like disconcerting to see all the infighting and the drama, and I can understand where he's coming from. I also think that it's big of him to apologize. So people who are able to kind of like look inwards and say, hey, maybe I went a little bit too hard. I respect people like that more than people who just kind of like stick to their guns and just keep on keeping on, So, I feel both sides, but I think people need to understand that like this whole thing was built on the backs of a lot of these like original contributors. And just give them a little bit more understanding. That's kind of my perspective.
I appreciate that, Michael, because something, we all need balance, don't we? We all need balance, right? And it's kind of weird, like how, like, myself and Rama, like, particularly, like, we're leading, like, all the pushback on all the shit, like literally, I've just been doing this for, like, way too long now. Like, I'm at the point where I'm like, everything's frazzled. And I was like the biggest lover, like a proper fanboy, like of everything and everyone. You never heard a peep out of me. like until I've seen what I've seen. But I like that's what we're here for. We're here to listen to people like you come up and say, hey, you know, like there's two sides to every tale and blah blah blah. And I totally agree with you, Michael. Totally agree with you.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I think in general, you know, I think a lot of people have been kind of talking about this a bit. Just kind of like the general, I guess, the energy in the community has gotten a little sour. Not across the whole community, but I think, you know, all we can do is just sort of consciously, each of us just try to be better listeners.
Do you know what though, Michael? Michael, can I be honest with you? For me, right, watching like the proxy war that's been happening between like Jack and Jay, right? Watching this like proxy war that's been fought through people like Jacob and other people, right? Like, and you know who's behind it. You know which two fractions of like, you know, Tendermint in air quotes kind of thing. We all know. Like, I think I tweeted like quite a while ago that if you put like the two names on either side of a paper and drew a line down the middle, you'd have to separate like all devs across like projects into like either side, because it's ridiculous how like these two fractions like formed that have dragged people into these little like you know, tittle tattle. I don't know if anyone's heard this word. I don't know if you Americans have heard it. I hope you have. Like tittle tattle, you know, like he said, she said, and all this bullshit. Like the vast majority of you just wake up every day and you're like, oh come on, man. You've already tweeted about it. Why another like 10 tweets about the same thing that day? It's like everything in moderation, you know? Like I might not be the right one to talk about that, but that's how I feel a little bit, you know? The split, the civil war in Tendermint hasn't been good for anyone or anything or any project. That's a fact, mind. Everyone knows.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think, you know, one of the biggest strengths of Cosmos is also sort of in a lot of ways showing itself also at this moment as a weakness, right? I mean, everybody has a voice, an opportunity to share that voice publicly. I think that is one of the biggest strengths of Cosmos, but also at the same time, you know, the community is never going to agree on this on a single course of action like unilaterally. So,
well,
you know,
well, Michael, you can look on the flip side, bro. Right? You could look on the flip side of that and say like we're coming off like what 6, 7, 8 months ago, like the biggest like validation of like Tendermint, like in its entire history, like the Terror crash was like the ultimate like proof of like concept like for Tendermint, like that anyone like when all the dust settles and all of the fucking governance shit's over with, like we're in business as where everybody in the future is going to want to build, because for that mechanism not to go down during the tender and in fact work amazingly well. Like, yeah, we're dealing with the like, you know, the personnel problems right now, but the tech behind it. And this is why I'm still here talking on these spaces, guys, and not giving up and talking to people like Jake and Jacob and others, right? And Ghazni, man, Ghazni, and all the people who drop in, is because I'm still a massive believer in the tech, no matter what validators are doing or what, who's arguing. Like, Tendermint will be here when a lot of them are gone. And that's the kind of way I look at it, like, Michael. Like the tech, for me, the underlying tech, far outweighs any of these plebs arguing on a fucking bird app, you know? Like, I'm not even thinking about that. They just generally annoy me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Cosmos is going anywhere. People might lose a shit ton of money, but, you know, buying at the wrong time, right? But, you know, I don't think the technology is going anywhere. I think, you know, when you zoom out, like long term, the future is very bright. I think we have a tendency, like across everybody in general has a tendency to kind of think that they're in the moment, but in reality, if you zoom out, it's just like kind of a speck of dust in time. I think overall everything's going to be just fine.
It's no secret, Michael, just for everybody in the room who might be like new or whatever, right? Fairly new. It's absolutely no secret that every single dev who was involved, right? Or is like around like Tendermint Core, etc., right? They were all like gobsmacked when the Terror crash happened and how it did not break sweat. Guys, again, I don't want to go on about the same. We always got to keep changing the conversations, like when new people join. But my mate, Giannis has come up to say hello. He's been up twice.
Yo.
How you doing, bro?
How are you guys?
I'm not bad. Have you been enjoying the football or what? Are you happy with the results so far?
I have not been watching the match right now, but all the others are pretty much what I wanted. But it's cool. It's cool. I'm waiting for England versus France. I think this will be a really good match on the top 8.
Best game of the World Cup today, like England France, man. Oh my fucking god, how big is that game? Can't even tell.
I think it will be good.
You hear me, Robo? You might want to turn off that match and look away because England is going to get throttled.
I tell you what, Ghostface, man, you were one of my new best friends, alongside Lizard Diz and Giannis and your man Sheldon. Is what all my new best mates. You're fucking getting kicked right out of that fucking club, you little cunt.
Let's put a wager on it then, mate. Let's do this. England loses.
Dude, put a wager.
And Giannis is going to do a pair of those Fuchsis from his sister's store. and then France wins, and I'll send you a cardigan.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Hey, I tell you what though. There's something about England though that I've never seen for like quite a long time at the minute. This methodical picking away. Winston, man, you fuck off, man. Oh, sorry guys. It's a fucking dog again, man. Behave, man, while I'm talking, man. Sorry, fellas. If you want to see what he's just done, man, I had a coffee cup earlier when I came in, and he's just got it and threw it in the air like thinks he's taking the piss. I don't know what he's doing. Anyway, not talk about football. We'll switch. England, I think, looks better than they ever have done right now, and I know everybody always says that, but they are looking methodical. They're looking like snipers that are just know they're going to get a chance. They know there's a chance coming, right? And they're quite willing just to like wait and then bang, see you later. All she wrote, good night, Vienna. We'll see if we beat France, we win. There you are. There's a statement for you. Anyway, what's happening, guys? What's happening? Are we fucking, is this the bottom or what? Or are we going further?
Robo, I gotta go. I'm on a flight to Mexico City, but thanks for bringing me on. Great talking to you, bud.
Take care, bro, mate. I'm off soon anyway. I'm going to have to tap these dogs out. It's 11:15 or something, man. I've had a right long day, like. Games is fuck all happening anyway, mate. It's right boring crypto day at the minute. Look, we've had to drag up like any news.
Hello?
What's that?
You
I can hear
you. Hours this whole week, and you're
getting rogued. Gains, you're getting rogued. I'm telling you. Oh, look at this man throwing shots at Rec Gang. Look at that. How funny. I've just seen the Rec News. I've only just looked. Gains going to come back. He's been getting rugged. Oh, Rec News. Hey, welcome to the world of spaces. Hey, we're in the news cycle again, though, aren't we? Yeah? We've been under an exploit. We've been out of the game for like, nearly 2 weeks. But we're still in the news cycle every day. People are still talking about the racks. Ghostface, you still got your rack?
I'm racked till the day I get run over, mate.
I fucking know you are, bro. Bbandz still got hers. I know Bbandz hasn't shipped hers.
Oh, no. I'm not selling my rack. You crazy? No way.
Amanda's wearing hers like a right beauty. We've even got Slinky in on the game. Hey, Tank's got a beauty, you know. You don't see Tank's rack very often. Who's seen Tank's rack? Anyone? And our gains ours. The windswept rack.
I'd like to see it. Can you post it up, Tank?
Oh, it's Tank's raccoon is a I don't think it's a one-off. Is it, Gains? I think it's a 2 of 2, the same as Amanda's. Like the style.
Can you hear me?
I'm right, Amanda.
Can you hear me?
2 on 2. Yeah, we can now. I knew you got rogue there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, we were just talking about Tank
for like an hour.
Were you insulted that no one was responding, or were you just happy that you were interrupted?
No, I was actually just minding my own business like Robo does, you know? He talks Talks.
Oh, we were talking about Rack's Tank. What we're talking about, it's nearly as bad as Tank's Tank. Can you remember? Who can remember Tank's Tank? Bbandz was like, fuck off, I'm not having this. Like, when his tank got siphoned, remember, outside the gym or something?
Yeah.
Who was that?
Somebody siphoned the gas from his vehicle.
you were saying, are you sure you didn't run out?
He ran out of gas. It's okay. We've all been
Oh,
that was his show right now. That's why he's not responding. I just realized.
Oh, is he? Is it on a Spaces as well? We should just jump off it.
It's a Twitch. But I gotta go though. I got a to-do list. I'm a little bit behind on some stuff, so.
What?
We'll not be long.
What?
What? Hi, just chill here with us, please. I invited Gus up. You can leave now, Bbandz.
Oh hell no! Now I'm saying, hi Gus, how you doing?
Hey, good morning, everybody. How you guys doing? Long time, no.
Before you start talking, Gus, this space is being recorded, bro.
I noticed that. It's being recorded. That was a funny meme. That was really funny. I really like those. They made me laugh. They made my day. Otherwise, it's a shitty weekend. So, how are you all doing?
Wow, Gus, we've been going mad. We've been having Spaces left, right, and centre, man. We've been on bloody, I don't know, God knows how many hours a day, man. I just think everybody's getting each other, like everyone's getting one another through the bear market at the moment. Like Christmas is coming and everyone's like, fuck, it's still the bear market. Are we going to pump? And everyone's just like, just okay. Have a bit of a chat. You feel better.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think Powell will take he'll go down to 50 basis points. Is that the rumor on the street? Maybe that might help a little bit. I mean, at least he's been signaling clearly about what he's going to do. I didn't trust the MFer in the beginning, a long time ago, but he's been very, very clear about what he's going to do. So hopefully that helps. I don't know.
Oh, you've just reminded me there. It was the RBA today, wasn't it? I was talking to Rom about that yesterday. He said it was going to be 25 basis points. I'll have to go and have a look. I remember that was yesterday. Was against.
If it's 20, sorry to interrupt. If it's 25, then things are going to red. They really are. Either that, or the market's going to overreact because they're going to say, "Oh, we overshot it." I mean, what do you guys think?
I know, but the RBA, the Royal Bank of Australia, was pumping out theirs today. They've got a big week, Australia this week. I'm quite interested to see what's going on down there. Like, well, Rama made his prediction yesterday. I need to see if he was right. I hate looking at macro right now, though. Fucking hell, man. There are some promising signs, though. Probably the biggest prominent sign at the moment is Michael Burry. When he tweeted the other day, and he's just like, I am not short. And that was it. That's all he said. I am not short. He didn't say he was long either.
Yeah, that's right. That was. I saw that. That made me stop for a minute and wonder. I mean, not that I depend on him, but his predictions are pretty prescient. You know what I mean? They're what's the word? They're very, very on the spot. He's out and in early.
Well, I don't know about you lot, but there might be some very positive news, I think, soon. I think you might find, guys, very soon, that China might just drop all of their fucking shit. Like all of what you've seen over the last few weeks, months, and last 2.5 years. I've got a feeling, a sneaky little feeling, from a few little snippets from what I'm picking up from different various sources, that you might just find that China might end up dropping everything and going into giga production soon, in regards to pretty much everything. I think they've approved a massive capital works spending for the fucking entire country. It's ridiculous. I think the number. You might just find, I didn't want to talk about China, Slinky. I can say the thumbs down, but it's relevant.
No, it's just not a good thing. You're just opening up billions of people to consume more gasoline, and inflation's going to go through the roof again.
I can't hear Slinks.
I can hear her fine. Slinky, can you hear me? James, I thought you got rugged earlier. I could hear an echo on your thing. If I hear that echo again, I'll tell you. Go on, just do the app swipe.
I'll
tell you what, guys. I know you will. I got rugged on so many spaces before Gaines taught me like the trick. And what I noticed is Twitter went from 30 seconds to 1 minute. So like before, like you used to have 30 seconds to reconnect. Now you get a minute. Oh, that extra 30 seconds is a fucking lifesaver if you have to clear the cache. Because I don't know about you lot, but like Twitter Spaces messes with the Bluetooth. And if anyone tells me Twitter Spaces does not mess with your Bluetooth, you're absolutely talking shit. Because I know for a fact it does nearly every time. Like when I first start the Spaces, I'll like switch the Bluetooth off. Like they'll just disconnect from the headset nearly every single time. I've learned like you've got to clear your cache before you start. Like get rid of your app, start afresh, right? If you're going to do a Spaces, like start afresh, yeah, and then don't connect your Bluetooth. Start the Spaces and then connect your Bluetooth after. Then you don't seem to have any problems actually, unless the Bluetooth. Fucking hell, man! Behave, dogs, man! Jesus, guys, I'm outside. These dogs, man. Sorry.
I got a question. I mean, I'm using earbuds right now, really cheap ones, and I'm wondering like, what's the best like headset with an extended microphone? Does that have to be on other spaces for like, secret and stuff like that, and people can't hear me? Is there one that's affordable out there? Can someone pin it or something? Because I was searching half the day yesterday. I can't make up my mind.
I am using AirPods Pro for the past at least 2 years without any problems at all on iPhone, on iPad, on Mac, and on Windows.
Gus, are you on an iPhone? Are you on an iPhone, are you?
Yeah, I'm on an iPhone, but I'm on a Skull Candy cheap $39 earbud thing. So I got it because of work. I have to upgrade. So
I love the JBLs, me. I love a good JBL. I have I did before Winston smashed it. No, the big headset.
You love them, but do we love them? I don't think so, guys. Like sometimes.
Ah, fuck off. What's it like now? Is it loud? Am I good?
Kind of.
Am I good?
Hey, just a little bit loud, and I can hear like your fan running at 30,000 miles per hour.
What? No way, the fan's miles away from me.
Robo, you're good. You're good.
Did you hear the dogs there? The dogs went mad. Fucking this Winston on the table, man. Shall I take a video or not? I'll take a video of this fella, man. He's right now on the table.
Hold on. Did you catch that little attitude that Amanda was doing me there a little bit ago?
Oh, she's always going at it. She's always going at it.
I wake up with an attitude. Nothing new here. Squid.
Are you trying to copy my squiddy?
Squid.
Is this Squid the new Joe?
Shut up, dude. Shut up, please.
Games, listen to that attitude. All right, back to Robo.
Of course I don't get it because you are just saying Squid. Who gets it?
It's like a secret language.
What's happening?
Go back to your sausage fest Discord.
What's happening with Shroot? He hasn't even surfaced yet, has he? Has he put in any appearances on any spaces since that weekend? I mean, has he got tattoos on his face or something? What's going on with your man, Shroot? Like, he used to be in like a spaces like quicker than a rat up a drain pipe. Telling you, your man Shroot.
You're right.
I know.
I am actually worried about Shroot, guys. I've been messaging him, and he's not responding to my DMs.
Wow.
I don't have a cell phone number. If anybody has a cell phone number, try giving him a call, please.
That's to be honest with you, that sounds like a woman, that doesn't it? That sounds like a woman when your man just goes like off the radar, bang like that for a few days, and it's like, then you meet him like he's probably in love, getting engaged and everything. Like 4 days later, and you're like, hello, what's happening with your man? Yeah, what's happening with you little bellend? What's happening with you fucking pleb? 4 days, and your man's like, right, I'm getting married, we're having kids a lot. No, what do you reckon, kid?
I don't know.
Well,
I'm trying to think back a few spaces, see what could have triggered him.
No, he came in. No. He had the big party. This weekend, right? The boss and his mates were flying in from another company and all sorts of shenanigans, right? And if you remember, he was on the Spaces on Saturday morning, his time, Saturday night, my time. And it's like Tuesday night, my time now. And he was wrecked off his face, man, hobbling to the fucking supermarket for a bottle of soda or something. He was wrecked. Anyway, he was sorting his mates out some bacon breakfasts, some full-on English breakfasts, like the dude he is, right? But then he's like, oh, I've got to do it tonight for like the proper party. So the Friday night was a warm-up. He was already wrecked, and then he had to go back out, dude, on Saturday and do it all over again. Like, and you could hear the like hesitancy in his voice. He's like, you know, when someone makes that like fucking horse sound, like, well, I gotta go. And I'm like, fucking hell, here we go. Dude, we've never heard from him since. He's off the reservation, isn't he?
That's what I'm saying. Maybe Johnny knows. He hangs out in the Discord sometimes.
Well, let's say it.
Johnny, do you know where Shirt's at?
Let's say that he gets home.
I have not seen him since the weekend. I think the last time we talked was on a similar space, like on Friday or Saturday. Can't remember.
Giannis, I think that was the space I'm talking about. Oh, your man must be down bad, no? What is it now? It's Tuesday, nearly Tuesday lunchtime. He must be sobered up by now. So let's say that he got home like 11 a.m. on Sunday, right? All right. Wrecked beyond belief. Woke up Monday morning and went, fuck that.
I agree, though. I agree with you, though. I think I smell woman business here.
What's that supposed to mean?
Giannis, what do you mean? He said he agreed with me, Gaines. Come on, you must know.
Yeah, I agree that they smell like, he probably met. He's been occupied since. I mean, he's completely ghosted us.
Not cool, man. Not cool. I'm over here rocking the squid thing for him, and he's not even helping. Wow.
My mate, you know, we were on a night out, right? And he met this chick, right? And I didn't even know, like, at the time, I wasn't taking, like, much notice, right? But she was on a hen night. You know, hen night, like, when people get married? I forgot what you call it in, like, in the US, you got different names, haven't you? You know, like, the night before your woman gets married or something, they have, like, that thing, it's a bachelorette party or something. What do you call it over there? Is that a bachelorette party or something? I'm not too sure. He is a fucked up over there. Call it a hen night in England. Call it a hen night. You know, the chicken, the hen, called the hen night. And what do they call the fellas? The fellas is a stag do. You know, stag do. Like, you know, do's a party. Like D-O do. It's like a party. It's a short word for a party in British English. You know that do? No? You know do? Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we call it a stag do. You know, the stag with the big horns. You know, the manly shit. We call it the fucking stag do, mate. What do you call it? When you fellas get together?
I have no clue what you're talking about. We don't call it a stag do.
No, we do, man. We do. What do you call it, the guys, when you all get together before you get married, like the night
party?
A bachelor party, yeah. You said
so you've got bachelor and bachelorette, right? Oh, bachelor and bachelorette. Okay. Okay. Now we're talking, darling. Okay, dude, come on, man. Fucking what the fuck is that? Bachelor and bachelorette, man. Yeah, we call it the fucking hen night and the fucking stag do. Anyway, why was I talking about hen night? Why was I right, me mate? No, dude. This woman was from like halfway across the country, right? And he met her, and like he fell for her so much though that he just disappeared down there for 2 weeks, dude. No one seen him for 2 weeks. I was like, where the fuck is he? Thinking of being killed and everything. Come back 2 weeks later, like, oh, I met this bird and went down south. Like, I'm like, what? You fucking dude walked out his job and everything. I'm like, are you mad, man? Oh, dude, it's fucking hilarious, the story. Like, I shouldn't tell her. Who's requesting? Get them up. We love fresh blood. It's your woman, Bbandz back. It's your woman, Bbandz.
Let me tell you a quick story. We flew to Cali, San Jose, Cali, and it was my wife's cousin's wedding, right? And it was at a nice little venue and whatnot. And the plan was that after the wedding,
flowers. So that's.
Can you hear me?
What was that? I heard some weird noise in the background.
I think that was Bbandz.
Oh, was that a husband?
Yeah, he got a deep ass voice, man. He'd be like screaming when he talks and shit. He's freaking about his plant that he was growing. Fucked it up with the nukes a little bit, but he brought it back to life. So, anyways.
I can't even. All right, I'll try. So after the wedding, right? The plan was to go to Las Vegas and just have like, a fucking blast out there. And so we went out to Las Vegas, and the guys were just hanging around with the guys. The girls were hanging around with the girls. We kind of separated there for a little bit, and we started drinking. Next thing you know, the groom, right? He disappeared. We couldn't fucking find the dude, and we were getting a little bit like worried. Like, guys, it's pretty late. It's like past 2 a.m. and we need to bring him back to his wife. But people were trying to call him. He wouldn't pick up. And we're like, fuck it. We were all wasted, right? So we just all went back to our rooms. We just fucking so wasted. My wife was asking me like, hey, where the fuck is Jason? I'm like, did you guys end up finding him? And we're like, no. I'm like, no, we were all looking for him. We couldn't find him. And she's like, well, where's the last place you guys went? And well, obviously I didn't want to tell her because we went to the titty bar. But I said, no, we went to the Caesar's Palace, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, next day, wake up hungover as fuck. We all went to like have some soup, and everybody was still talking about what happened last night, and he was not there. He still was not there. And so the situation got worse and worse because we were getting messages from the wife saying that she had a whole bunch of fucking withdrawals from her bank account in either cash withdrawals, or that he was spending funds with like an escort service or something like that, dude. Oh my God, bro. This was like the most awkward fucking like family trip to Las Vegas I've ever been in, dude. It was so bad. So a few hours later, we meet back up with the entire family, and Jason and the wife is there, and the dude had the most reddest, like his like right side of his face was so fucking red. Like just one side was red, the other side was normal. The dude got bitch slapped so hard, dude. And apparently, supposedly he blacked out. You know how that story goes. He blacked out. He doesn't remember a thing. Said that he got mugged, that he got robbed, that he doesn't even remember going to the titty bar, and that supposedly they took his card and they robbed him supposedly. But oh my gosh, man! Guess how much money was gone from their bank account? Guess, Robo.
AGs.
Oh, you're close. You're very, very close.
It's a bot.
Yeah, it's bad. It was $10,000 that he spent on escort services and ATM cash withdrawals. Yeah.
Man, imagine throwing 10K and next day you have a blackout. I mean, come on, man.
Imagine the smell in their wedding bed. Did they get married in the end?
No. So this, So this was the day after their wedding, bro. This was the day after their wedding. They were married. The first day, like officially married, bro. And this happened. Can you imagine? Oh my God.
Imagine the smell. Imagine the smell in that marital bed. Oh my God. Bbandz, can you imagine that? Amanda, you'd go fucking mad, wouldn't you?
Well, here's the thing. Unfortunately, the reason I said that number was because something similar happened to me.
Did you stab him?
Is it the same guy? Is it the same guy?
My ex, no, my ex did some shit like that to me. It was bad.
Should have fucking stabbed the fucker.
No, I was like, well, thanks a lot. Now we have nothing to eat, and we just had a baby, so I ate like cereal and rice for like fucking a week until he got paid again. But yeah, that's why that didn't work. But yeah, for sure, it was absolutely awful.
Shit, man. That's bullshit with a little kid, though, man. That's bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? Though, like us, we can't if we have to eat shit. Like literally, I've lived on like potatoes and eggs for like a month, right? Like if we have to like live that life like those adults, we can do it now. But when you got a kid, man, that's not how shit works, right? You know what I mean? Like your priorities change, like don't that drastically.
Oh gosh, dude. Yeah, we were there for a total of 3 days in Las Vegas, and we just wanted to get the fuck out of there because the entire time we were there, it was the most awkward thing ever. He wasn't allowed to leave like her little like radius of 10 feet. Like she had him by the fucking like balls the entire time we were out there in Vegas. He couldn't leave. He couldn't do nothing. He couldn't spend money on drinks. He couldn't gamble. It was just super awkward.
The most miserable time. Like you can I don't even know the guy, right? He might have been through hardships before in his life, but I can guarantee you that like particular like it was
family just came over. I'm dropping down a listener.
Okay, Bbandz. Thank you, darling. I bet you that was the most
I need to go,
to
guys.
Life.
Have a great time, and talk later.
See you later, Giannis. Take care, bro.
Yeah,
see you, man.
Same here. I got to get to work, guys. You have a good one.
All right, I guess I'll just get the fuck out of here too.
I think we smell, Gaines. I think we smell. Arby, do we smell? For fuck's sake.
You always smell.
Imagine the smell. Dude, we had, Arby, when you left, we had like an hour and 10 minutes of that fucking MEV. Oh, dude, I was crawling along the floor, couldn't take any more, was MEV'd out. Fucking hell, man. Some people like...
Robo, and I still don't even know what the fuck MEV is, dude. Nah,
yeah, why is it that like developers can't explain anything in English? Like, it's not asking much.
Yeah, a lot of the time. Yeah, it's very difficult for to express things in like a logical order. So like development and organization, whether that be written form or verbal, it takes a degree of like knowing. Okay, this is like how it works. Like if you're going to like explain like a problem, like whether it's a problem like you've already fixed or whether it's a problem that's like occurring now, like the way that you talk about it, the techniques you can use. Nah, RV, they've got the vast majority of them have got like zero like speaking skills, and even the ones that can like get you to like understand what they're talking about, like quite simply, like a lot of them are like monotone as fuck, and that's really hard to listen to, man. I'd rather listen to like bad English than monotone English, if I'm honest with you. That's what I said about Jake. He's one of the very few people who, when he speaks, you're buying into like the rhetoric, you're buying into, how he delivers the content that he talks about. Fucking Gaines, look at that space has just emptied. Everybody left us, dude. And I mean, everyone almost got really boring. Did we get boring, dude?
No.
I'm glad they left. I don't like big spaces.
Yeah, fuck those people. I mean, I think that Sonny actually does a really good job of metaphor, like using metaphors to explain complicated topics. Like, I really like the way that he used the example of like NATO and bilateral treaties to explain mesh security. Obviously, that requires like some like historical context or whatever, but he always supplies that context. And I think a lot of people, what they forget, and I think like especially developers, is like they're in their little world with other engineers talking about this shit all the time, and it's not often they like zoom back out and come and talk to us like non-developers about what they're working on. And so they kind of forget that none of the context that they're used to operating with is there. So they're having this conversation that's totally different from the conversation that we're having, which is why I think it's helpful to have an interviewer or somebody that like isn't afraid to like pull someone back down to earth when they're like floating maybe like too far above the land. And I don't know. I mean, Jacob's a smart dude. I don't think anyone disputes that, right? Like, I just think he requires like guidance during interviews, because he can easily just go off into like these tangents, and if you let him, like, he won't stop.
Rama and I are probably like literally the only two people on Spaces, because it's like different live, like face to face, when you say like him and Don or something. Like Rama and I are the only like people who tamed him, and that was on one of the first ones we did back in like late March or something, around the Juno hold. Can't remember exactly when Juno halted, but like it was before the Juno halt. We actually did it with Jacob, so but yeah, it would have been like early March, I think, around the Prop 16 time or something like that. Dude, we got like a great interview out of him. I thought I upset him yesterday, and Gaines might be able to point me in the right direction here. I mean, he came back today, which I'm really happy about. But Gaines, you remember yesterday with a mechanical keyboard? And then when other people were trying to like ask questions and reply, and it was like so fucking annoying, wasn't it? And I was like, Jacob, you know, like everyone needs you in these spaces. We do like need your knowledge, you know, and your ethics and your effort. Like, dude, but you've got to learn where the mute button is. And RV, he just left the space. I've known the fella for like I didn't. I've known him for over a year, man. I was literally like one of the only, when he had like less than 2K followers, literally the only guy in Cosmos that was like defending Jacob at the time with the situation when Lum halted the relays, the IBC relays on the LDP on Osmosis. I think Lum, stop me if I'm wrong, were the first, right? The Liquidity bootstrapping program, like they were the first ones to test it out, I think, and they pulled that stunt because obviously they fucked up the airdrop. People just cashed out the airdrop to the LBP. Loads of people got stunk. They took down the IBC channels, and like Jacob was like, nah, you did wrong. You fucking, and Jacob like reconnected the IBC relays for Lum, or was mad like, and then they went after him. And that fucking literally, I remember like I spent like 3 days on 3 days on Twitter, like just. Like there wasn't many minds. I'm telling you, like, all of these tweets are there. Like I've searched for them before, so I know they're all there. Like the keywords you can search, like Jacob Ryan, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. So mate, I've been there from the start. Yeah, that's why he comes on and talks to me. That's why when we had the row about the bad kid and everything, it was all fucking fake. It was all fucking drama. It's all WWE. Like, you know what I mean? He's a good source, but yeah, RV, you're right. If you can channel Jacob properly, like in an interview, he's fucking fantastic. You heard the explanation at the end, yeah, when he's talking about the blocks and.
Yeah, I was like, bro, where the fuck was that? Like, 20 minutes ago. It's insane. Like how all you gotta do is like frame it for him, and then he's like, oh, okay, all right.
Dude, Rama's had some insane, intense conversations, man. I tell you, we've had Rama like online on Spaces, like Jacob, I've told you before, both in public and in private, and like he's like a school teacher, Rama, man. And then you get some like magic shit out of him, some real fucking beans. I'll tell you what, the thing about Jacob is, because he got taught obviously off Jay, yeah, and others, his fucking knowledge of Tendermint Core, right? And the Tendermint libraries as well, like 3 Tendermints, right? His knowledge of the entire like thing is really on point. That's where his like massive fucking strength is like in consensus. He's really fucking clever, like, and he can push code out. Like Jacob can push code out like fucking no one. Like he can knock out like 10 PRs in a day, like. Okay, some of them might not be perfect, but like you'll have 8 out of 10 or whatever. Like that guy can produce, you know, and that's what matters, doesn't it? I don't know, RV. I will say this: I don't agree with his stance on things or his subjective comments. But when he's being objective and just talking tech, and you talk about Sonny, I agree with you. Sonny's great with his metaphors; he does it all the time. I have to say, Jack Z is when he's like, all right, okay, if you want to know how it works, right, and he's probably one of the best explainers out of all of them that I've come across, mine. Apart from maybe Jake, I think Jack Zamplin can communicate like everything very well, no?
Yeah, I think it really just comes down to how much someone loves to hear themselves talk. Like, and I know this about myself. Like, I love to talk. And I also, like, when I know something about something, I want to be the one to explain it. Like, I'm that fucking annoying kid in the class who's like fucking raising his hand, squirming in his seat. Like, let me fucking answer this question because I know. And I think that sometimes can be a really detrimental quality as a speaker because it means that you're focused more on like what you have to say than like how other people are going to receive it, right? Like, you're just really focused on getting this thought out of your head.
I don't know. I measure everything in like subjectivity versus objectivity. Makes I listen for all of the words that are either like that you associate with being subjective or objective, and then you can tell like when someone's trying to like balance something, and then when they're like giving you like their deep down feeling. Do you know what I mean? I know you're saying though about people love the sound of their own voice. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, that's two different things. Yeah. So I agree. Like, there's that component of it, but I think like even if you're being purely objective, but you're rambling or like you're going like too deep into the weeds or whatever, like it's still not super useful, right? Like, I think like, yes, being objective over being subjective is a great quality, but then on top of that, you also have to consider like, you know, who is my audience and what do they really care about? And one way that this got beaten out of me, and I'm still working on it, but like in medicine, when you're presenting a case to a physician, like they just want to know the most important things. And so you just get humiliated into figuring out like what actually matters. And the faster that you can give your presentation and the more concise it is, you are like rewarded for that by either getting a good grade, getting like some sort of positive reinforcement. You know, they allow you to maybe like sit in on a case and like do some extra things that they otherwise wouldn't have let you do. So I think that like the environment that I'm in like selects for that because you can't be verbose. People will just be like, fuck you.
Well, you took the SAT. I mean, you took the SAT test, didn't you? Right? You took the SAT, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
anyone who goes to college has to take that.
What's a big component? No, but what's a big component of the SAT? A very big component.
Yeah,
concision. No. I put the reading aside. The writing and language test. What's one of the fundamental components of the SAT is exactly what you're talking about: concision and redundancy. Like the pepper the SAT, and they can mix it with other like question types. Like it's something that like in the English language. I'll tell you what, Harvey. I grew up like right in a weird old place, right. We moved, but when I was very young, we grew up in a weird old place, right? My old man was he was actually an electrical engineer, but he was the head engineer of 3 like coal mines. But we still like lived in a village bordered a coal mine, right? And I grew up with my old man, right? And this is his words: don't take 20 words when you can take 5. That's what he always used to say to me. Like, I grew up, Harvey, getting it drilled into me. I know we talk on these spaces, but there is always a point somehow. We'll always get there. Like, I got it drilled into me from being a young kid, like, off my parents. Like, hey, man, speak up. What you saying? What you got to say? Don't bumble on like that. Eh? What you mumbling for? What you bumbling for? Get it out, you know? I had no choice, me, mate. Yeah, in my family, you had to, like, get your words out and get them out quick, or no one was going to listen to you. Do you know what I mean? Some people haven't got that. Some people are like, it's like, nah, mate, come on, get to the fucking point, will you?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is why I'm such like a difficult person to be in a relationship with, because I just tune people out if they're droning on and on about something and they're not getting straight to the point. I mean, and it's kind of hypocritical because I know I do it sometimes too. So again, it's like something that I think I have to continue actively working on, but there is a skill. It is a valuable skill to be able to be concise and get your ideas out in a not only in a concise way, but in a way that like a broad audience can understand them. It's also a lot easier to listen to someone.
I'm just wondering if you've ever gone back and listened there. I think I posted in the nest when you were on a space. I don't know if you've ever gone back and listened to the RAC AMA that I did with Maul, where it was like me and him for like the first like 45 minutes or whatever it was, 40 minutes before I brought like Gaines and Rama and everyone in. Have you heard that there yet, Harvey, or not?
Not yet.
Oh, dude, you'll love it. They were in the group chat, like Yaupstead, Games, Rama, like everyone was in the group chat, like, wow, like fucking great interview. Can you remember Games, that one? That was a classic, no?
Which one? Which one, Robo?
Classic. The one where I interviewed Mo. The one where I just interviewed Mo for like 45 minutes, and then you lot came in.
That was the first space where I was like shocked that you could actually be professional in the space. So
fucking thanks. Fucking hell. That was the first one.
Seriously. That's the first one I ever tuned in that you were like up to your utmost professionalist, like Robo style, you know? You did a great job. I was like, wow.
We had one objective, didn't we? To get the raccoon message out. How do you do that? You don't do that by dwelling on talking about yourself or like asking too many follow-up questions about the same point. This is like what annoys me. People will be like, these interviewers on the spaces, right? They'll be like, we'll get questions at the end, which is like what you should do. You should already have your like mates in the audience like ready and primed, like to come up with like the big numbers, like the curveballs and shit. You should already have that like lined up. And like what you want to do is you want to interview them and get as much like data. I mean, I know you've got to ask like supplementary questions and, you know, connected questions, blah, blah, whatever. And arrange it open and close, like to keep it going. But like, you want to get through as much content really in these interviews. See, Games, you know, on Cosmos Spaces, you don't get a lot of luxuries with some of the people are like, say, you know, you got 40 minutes. We'll only accept certain questions and all that bullshit, right? Yeah. There are some people that do this shit in crypto, and they're plebs, right?
Yeah, I usually tell like our guests to make sure they at least set aside an hour minimum, but be prepared to go to like an hour 30, maybe 2 hours sometimes 2 hours, but yeah, that's pushing it a little bit.
Well, that AMA was obviously a special one, but yeah, I did. I mean, it was on for 3 hours, right? Over 3 hours, yeah. Mole said after he was absolutely shattered. RV, I'll go and find it in a second. I'm going to put it in the nest. So yeah, it's just basically like me and Rack and I, sorry, Mole and I for like about 40 minutes, maybe something like that. 45 minutes, me just like, right, you know, audits, this, the games, blah, 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 validators, like me just trying to get through as many topics as possible for all the people listening. Like, yeah, I'm going to talk. I want to ask about that. I want to ask about that. Then when it came to it, like if I did 45 minutes and he was up for 3 hours, he took like 2 hours and 15 minutes of questions, Ari, and he stayed there and answered the lot. That's how you do a fucking interview, right? It's like what Gaines did with Jake Hartnell. Tell you, that's another one, Harvey. If you've never listened to Gaines interview Jake Hartnell on Cosmos Spaces, that's a fucking banging interview. That's one of my faves.
Yeah, I haven't heard that one yet, and I do love listening to interviews with Jake because I think that like for example, I know Don did one that was interesting because he dug a little bit into his like past before he was, you know, working on Juno and all that kind of stuff. And I listened. I'm trying to remember. I listened to one of Gaines' spaces. Oh yeah, you were interviewing Don, and I do think it's really important to kind of break through the crypto stuffs every once in a while because it's really easy. Like, for example, Don has this like persona, right? And it's really easy for him to keep kind of like perpetuating that persona, but he doesn't really get a whole lot of opportunities outside of his platform to show people like who he actually is, so that people who maybe don't understand the humor or the, you know, the overt like communication style that he uses, like to actually understand like who is Don really, right? And having these more like organic spaces where people can actually like, oh, here's my life story, here's like my arc, here's how I ended up here, blah, blah, this kind of shit is really more important, I think, than all the other stuff that some other content makers focus on.
Well, that thing that Gaines has been doing where he interviews people, I loved the Don interview last week. I mean, I nominated like Kevin Garrison. Who did Kevin Garrison nominate? Because they would have nominated Don, right? I love the Don one though. Fucking love that when he's about film school and that.
Who did Kevin nominate? Oh, he nominated Joe Abbey.
Ah, yes, that's right. Cool. And Joe Abbey nominated Don, did he?
Joe Abbey nominated Polkachu, but Polkachu didn't want to talk on his spaces, and I said, "Fuck it. Well, I'll just go with the bottom of the barrel." So I chose Don. Don actually chose Jake Hartnell. I haven't reached out to Jake Hartnell.
No,
I don't want to disturb him. He might be really busy, so I'll ask him though. It's supposed to be next week Thursday anyway. Gives them a little bit of time to like prepare.
Well, we've got some scandal coming up, haven't we? Yeah, I mean, there's some drama coming up, isn't there, with this window and shit. I'm getting ready to see
Wait,
which
really?
way.
What's the drama? I just met with them. They're great.
I didn't say they weren't, but I mean, I don't know what's going to. I mean, well, are we on, or against, was he on that for the culture spaces where we had that extended discussion with Rama about the Dexters, and we went right. I mean, Arby, dude, I think you'll have been asleep, dude. With Rama, like the other day, we did like 7 hours or something across like the full afternoon or whatever it was, and in the early evening, and we went into a right mad conversation, man, because there's loads of shit about like Juno swap being like purposely sabotaged to like push wind to the front. There's strong rumors around about that, like. But we went into it in great detail the other day. I mean, I didn't want to drag this up again. Maybe, I don't know, it's maybe not the right time. I don't know. RV.
Yeah, there might be more to the story, and I don't want to like reduce it to a fucking headline. But when was Juno Swap ever a real project? Like, let's be real.
We know. But is that actually been the plan all along, or what? I mean, I fucking hate the thing, me, by the way. I would hope something would come along and replace it, something that's efficient, to say the least, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the details around any sort of controversy around like whether or not Juno Swap was like this kind of like intentionally shitty platform so that something better could come and replace it. But if we think about it just from, I guess, kind of like a capitalist point of view, it's like that's just kind of how things work, right? Like people made Juno Swap because it was like a low-hanging fruit, right? You launch a DEX on a chain. It's like very classic. And, I think we always knew it was never going to be better than Osmosis. I think there was a lot of hype with the whole raw airdrop. And then clearly after the airdrop happened, it was just like nobody continued working on the DEX. Nobody was really pushing out any updates. There was like a grant given out to create some like infographic stuff, which was cool, but now clearly, like, I don't know, like, even though that stuff is no longer going to be used on Juno Swap anymore, it can still be used elsewhere because it's open source. So people can still take that and build on it and make something better for Wind or some other DEX that decides to launch. So it's not like, in my opinion, it's not like wasted money per se, but for anyone who is an investor in Raw, I could totally see why they would be fucking pissed. I don't know who's buying Raw, though.
There's a little, RV, sometimes when you speak to people, there might be some things that people are not aware of, or it's quite, I mean, I miss like loads of stuff and I find out stuff like later. Right, RV, do you know about Shane from Stars and about what he did, what he tweeted when Juno was like hitting like all-time highs? Like, are you aware? Because obviously you're aware by now that, like, whatever you want to call it, Tendermint, IBC, Cosmos, the whole, whatever you're going to call it, this equal we're in, right? Most people like to use proxies to fight their little wars, right? This is how it works, yeah? I'm a little proxy of RAC, aren't I? Right? If you think about it, yeah? Do you know what Shane from Stars was tweeting out back in April? Yes or no?
No.
And well, Juno all-time high would have been beginning of March, right? About 2nd, 3rd of March, something around there. And then this was like just not long after that, right? Because then RAC minted, and this is when we minted, right? Okay, if you don't know, out of nowhere, guys, and if anyone knows who Shane is, which you should do, yeah, pleb, out of nowhere, Juno's hitting like all-time highs from whatever you class the low as. No one can really determine the low. Some bought a 3, some think the low was 7, whatever. But Juno's hitting $45, right? Right? It bounced off 45, but it's still in the 40s, right? It's big money, yeah. And Shane from Stars comes out. Where's our shit? And he deleted all these tweets, guys, because I've got all my receipts, right? And we made a meme of Raccoon running him over. The quad bike thing where the girl runs a boy over. We made a meme video of us running Shane over because of this. Basically, came out tweeting. Me and Ethan Frey, we were the fucking creators of Cosmwasm. Juno fucking. Oh, I mean, basically, guys, he wasn't saying that, but he fucking was. Like, he's like, Juno owes us like money, and this is one of the things that's being taught around in like, I don't know how to say this, like, was Shane a proxy is the first thing, was the first question we asked at the time. Is Wind and what's happening now an appeasement to Ethan for Cosmwasm and Juno, which was obviously the first Cosmwasm 1x chain, I think. Like, nobody really fucking knows, but the suspicions are there. Does that make sense, Harvey? There's like, when you come out asking for like money, basically your share at all-time highs, like questions get asked, and it's like, wait a minute, you little pleb. And then the next thing you know, Wind's coming out, and it's like, all right, okay. I mean, Ethan Frey is the godfather of Cosmwasm. Everyone knows. I'm not saying that, Harvey, but you know what I mean. There's no smoke without fire.
Thanks for checking out another episode of The Ether. That was RAC FM, Code in Testing, part 1 of a 2-part space hosted by Robo and LiLSquid, RAC FM crew, recorded on Tuesday, December 6th, 2022. For TerraSpaces.org, I'm Finn. Thanks for listening. And if you want to keep listening, head on over to TerraSpaces.org/donate and show some support. Now, with Spark IBC enabled. Sneaking through back alleys on a little cosplay. Broadway all day, looking like the wrong way. Resuscitating major players in the waiting room. Sifting through the paperwork while I be debating fools. Breaking rules, breaking bad, like we always wait for doom. Slayed a few in my early years, off beneath the shrooms. Sitting in the dark, waiting for the daily news to let us know what we should believe as the latest truth. Stay aloof, writing rhymes in the studio. Trying to keep it well lit like filming a movie roll. Sorting through support from your endorsements. Of course, we're tripping balls, handed reports it. The latest proof ain't a way to move, change the view. Just a bunch of peckerheads living in a chicken coop. Picking at the dinner, finger licking like the plate is good. So kick it for a minute, then show me what that thing could do. 2 + 2. Show me what that thing could do. 2 + 2. Show me what that thing could do. 2 + 2. Show me what that thing could do. 2 + 2. Big thinking energy always gets the best of me when I kick it in the lab, messing with new recipes. Gotta mix and match, flip the latch, letting rhythm scratch. Dope shit, spitting facts with my vision smash. Big trip aristocrats, dishing out a list of trash. Missing wisdom, this fish is too big to catch. Better let the missus know where you hid the stash. Watch your next step, bro, before you hit the traps. Walking on eggshells, tripping over landmines. And I'm about done dealing with these damn lies. Man, I'm looking at this planet like a franchise. Chastised into digging holes in the back 9. The latest proof ain't a way to move, change the view. Just a bunch of peckerheads living in a chicken coop. Picking at the dinner, finger licking like the plate is good. So kick it for a minute, then show me what that thing could do. 2 + 2. Show me what that thing could do. 2 + 2. Show me what that thing could do. 2 + 2. Show me what that thing could do. 2 + 2. TerraSpaces.